It's full strength here at Rainitschke Field is No BS. Billy and Sarian with you here live for the next 3 hours as we bring you Packers practice numero 5, number 5 in the first days that pads start clashing here at Rainitschke Field. You are going to be looking live and listening live over the next 3 hours as we bring you all the conversation about that. Wayne Larrabee joins us on the perch in about an hour from right now. Call it an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes. Tim Allen will be here in the second hour of the program, leading off the 10 o'clock hour, talking some Brewers baseball. Less than awesome weekend. Less than awesome. However, never bad time to have a little humble pie, and some served freshly at American Family Field this week. We'll talk about that with Timmy, amongst a lot of other things. But Armen Sarian is to my left.
Yes.
There is not a cloud in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
Sweat rags have been dropped off. Water has been as well. It is a sweater. Armen, you got the binoculars. You got a Go Pack Go bracelet right next to you.
I'm all set to go here,
You got the company polo with the Packer logo on it, iron jocked out today. How you feeling up here live up at the perch for your first time, as this is year number 2 that we've been here?
My first time on the perch here, exactly, Billy. I'm feeling like a whole vibe out here.
That's what I'm talking
at
about.
Rainitschke Field, where, yes, it's going to be hot. Yes, it's going to be a glorious heat. It's going to be a glorious heat. I was talking to Cindy, who's working the crowd here, some of the great ushers we have here.
You started introducing yourself to all of the ushers.
I want to get you got a head start to get to know everybody. You know me, I want to chop it up with Will and Cindy, and I forget who other guy was. Dave is a great guy right here, hooking us up with the waters, letting us know what's going on. And Cindy dropped the total bar. You didn't hear her. You were running the bath. She goes, you know what? It's going to be warm today, but she goes, you know what? When I get going, walking around, helping people out, I don't even feel it. She goes, I'm having such a great time, and that's what we're going to have. We're going to have a great time, Billy, as they finally putting the pads on. It's ceremonious,
yes,
I think, and you can really start to hear that symphony of the sounds of the pop of the ball and the crowd and the cheers. And, boy, it couldn't be more glorious out here. Yeah, it's hot, but you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way. It's a sun splash day here at Rainitschke Field. Billy, I couldn't stop thinking about this morning in New Orleans when we were there for the Super Bowl, meeting some of the great media all across the world. How many people came up and said, man, it's my bucket list item to come to Lambeau Field and to be right here.
Yeah.
Billy, we're right here right now, and you wouldn't want to be anywhere else, that's for sure.
Heck yeah, Marv Levy. And in the midst of a day like yesterday, I was up here with the Wisconsin Sports Show and hanging out with Don and Dan.
Great show, by the way. Yeah,
I thought it was a phenomenal show.
Those guys
do an amazing job.
I love their show.
I said a couple of different times thanking them for letting me come on and lower their ratings, but also I messed it up. I wanted to do a couple of the different bits that they have throughout the year when they change some things up.
They do, yeah.
It was a great day here yesterday. Again, hot and sweaty.
Well,
Sticky.
yeah, absolutely. That's what we have
shells in the progression of getting yourself to full pads. You got to go shells to shoulder pads to full pads. And for the Packers yesterday, getting at least the first little taste in almost 100-degree heat index. Now today, shoulder pads will go on. You mentioned it. You get the little bit more of a symphony of sounds and the feeling of football. You also then can start answering some questions, because a couple of this team's biggest questions and biggest training camp battles are in the trenches, on the lines. And as much as Nazir Stackhouse blowing up a couple of run plays yesterday, which I love, undrafted rookie from the University of Georgia who could factor in their trying to replace TJ Slayton and all the snaps he had in the interior of their defensive line, you can't necessarily answer all those questions or any of them in shirts and T-shirts.
No, you can't.
You need to get pads on and allow the guys to really start playing some ball.
Yeah, Billy, and that's an aspect that I'm excited to watch amongst a lot of other things. That's usually your jam, but I'm trying to get better and better at understanding the interiors of what's going on. But I'm excited for a lot of things. I'm excited to see for firsthand what they're talking about Hobbs and how he's getting too much.
That's for sure.
Hobbs is going full Armen at intramurals. Come on.
The answer to your
question, hard.
I like Matt LaFleur yesterday asked, does he need to turn the intensity down? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
The answer to your question is yes. He does, clearly.
At least he gave a nice answer. It's like, the answer is yes. Thank you. That's what we were asking for. And you know what, Billy? It could be a lot worse than a guy playing too hard in training camp.
It's a little easier and you like it a little bit more to tell somebody to slow down than slow up and speed up.
And we talk about bringing the right guys in, not just for their production on the field, but guys that are Packer people. And sometimes it can be a little cliche and schmaltzy. But we talked about how great on the field Xavier McKinney's been, how great Josh Jacobs has been between the lines, and also in the locker room and the leadership aspect they brought. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's an aspect of Nate Hobbs they liked as well. And Goody did mention that. I know that was part of the process when they looked at Hobbs and they said, you know what we like? We kind of like the edge he has. We like the passion he has for ball. And I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted a little bit more leadership as well, infused in that locker room, as well as just production on the field, right? Because that's something that it seemed to leak out a little bit at the end of the year. Like maybe there wasn't the leadership that we wanted. Maybe it was something that could have been a source of improvement for the Packers. And it's not so bad to have a veteran come in and set, a guy that just got paid and sit here and say, I'm going to set this standard right here for the young guys. So it's going to be fun to watch that amongst a lot of other things, Billy.
Hobbs is a unique spot because, like you mentioned, Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs both came from losing organizations. Hobbs also comes from the Raiders, losing organization. There's a different type of energy you get when you have a chance to compete.
We saw it with Jacobs last year.
Right. You saw it with all of those guys.
Yeah.
You see it potentially with a couple of guys that your Milwaukee Brewers might be adding in the next couple of days.
That's a big thing, too.
The jolt of energy from a competitor's mindset and, just competitiveness standpoint, you get a boost when you come to a team that has a legit shot. This team feels like they have a legit shot still at 22-1 to win the Super Bowl at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. But you get a taste of, I joked about it a little bit of like new kid energy.
Yes.
Right. Like you get to a new school, you're trying to show off. You're bringing your best material, bringing your best jokes. You're going to play as hard as possible. You like the coaches telling you to tone it down a little bit, but then it's going to ramp back up once these pads come on. And Nate Hobbs, he's trying to earn in the locker room the respect of grabbing that spot, right? Because the contract implies that he is going to take over one of those cornerback spots vacated from Jair Alexander opposite of Keyshawn Nixon, and Carrington Valentine going to factor in there as well. But you want to earn it to the rest of those guys in 11-on-11 drills and let them know and kind of show off for the guys that you're going to be playing alongside. So I liked it. I also liked that Matt LaFleur told him, hey, let's cool the Jets a little bit.
Well, yeah, you don't want to get out of control.
We can't let anybody get hurt. Also, one thing to cool down the Jets or ramp those things back up, I'm excited for you to get a look at 22.
Yeah, I'm excited
for that. Matthew Golden made some more plays here yesterday that had people's eyes opening up.
So there's another great example of a guy that's going to be coming in, not a guy that necessarily has a spot, but when you're a first rounder in this league, you are given a certain level of cachet, right? And a lot of guys in that receiver room that are still kind of trying to
cachet, but also more than anything, expectations,
right?
Yeah.
And also a lot of guys in the receiver room that are trying to still figure out their place in this league.
Amen.
And Dontavian Wicks is the first guy I think of. This is a huge year for Dontavian Wicks because he showed a lot of talent that first year, all the Devontae Adams comparisons. And then last year, of course, took a step back because of all the drops, right? So how is he going to respond to a guy coming in? Not to mention Savion, but as well, Golden as well coming in. I don't want to say gifted a spot, but when you're a first rounder, you get a certain amount of money, you get a certain amount of chances because you're drafted there, and say, okay, how am I going to let this affect me? Am I going to let myself fall, back farther and farther into the rotation, or is this motivation for me to show that I have the talent and the ability that I once showed? So I'm excited to see that, the splash plays he's making, but also Billy. So I'm also going through this dilemma, right? I don't know, I want to see what everyone's doing and keep track of it, but I don't want to be one of these guys that's going
you don't want to be
way
keeping
overboard.
Training camp stats.
Training camp stats. This is like a new thing. How do you feel about this? People are training camp stats, and word gets out on social media that so and so was only 4 for whatever in the drill.
Oh yeah.
But this is not.
I like the kicking ones when they work. Right. I like it when Brandon McManus hasn't missed, and you can spotlight that. I like those a lot more than what we're going to be throwing in compilation of red zone periods and things like that, because you don't necessarily know what the emphasis or goal of each individual play or set is, right? Hey, we only want you looking to your third option. Yeah. There's all different things that you're being coached to do, but it is fun. I think the hilariousness of training camp stats is kind of trying to replace what was the preseason games that we were talking about it during the crosstalk. Just no one plays in anymore.
No one plays anymore. So the most important players are in joint practices, right? And these situations, and that plus obviously the proliferation of social media and interest in the league. Let's be honest,
insane interest in the league,
and
exactly.
Interest in fantasy football.
People want to know who am I going to be drafting? Because in 3 weeks I have a big one.
People are so excited to hear or interested to hear. Oh my goodness, so and so got picked off. And let's be honest, there's a little bit of also fans you hear Caleb Williams got picked off. You're Packer fan, you want to dunk on him. You hear Jordan Love got picked off. Vikings and Bears fans want to dunk on him and say, oh, this guy, you know what I mean? There's an aspect of that too, where the trash talk nature of social media is in there. Where once upon a time, I knew the free agents were coming in. I knew Eugene Robinson and Santana were coming in. Like, I knew we picked up, like, I'm going through the years, like Terry Glenn or whoever it was.
Going through the list.
But it's like you weren't keeping track of, like, who dropped the ball today at camp. And that's just it, because you didn't know about it, because it wasn't written in the paper. And now it's tweeted out, you know?
Right. Yeah. And it's not only tweeted out by one guy, it's tweeted out by 17 guys.
17
so if you're on your account during this hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, you're going to get it every single play by 4 different outlets. And it is a lot of the interest in the league that absolutely does it.
Right.
The insatiable appetite for football, because we haven't had it in 6 months. Also, I think there's a number of different parts to this team in trying to find out where and how they're going to deploy different weapons. You're saying
there's so many guys. Yeah. And you're right, Billy. We couldn't, I guess it's fair to say most football fans couldn't be less interested in preseason games than ever before in history, right? Because there's less.
Very true.
There's just
even
less
the commissioner, he talks about it every chance he has. Every time a microphone's in front of his face, he's like, "You know what I hate? Preseason football."
I love when the old heads bring up there used to be 6 preseason games, which is true.
Yes.
But also, like, Bart Starr played in all of them, and like so at least your favorite players were playing, or the best players, the most interesting players. That's mean to say, but the most interesting players were playing in those games. So it does become something different. That
the
being
legit
said,
ramp-up period was also a necessity.
Right.
Now that's a different deal. Like we were talking about it during the crossover with Zabe and Butch of, well, how much better is that for the play on the field from the team aspect of how together teams are? Probably not great. But from the actual player development and are these players coming in the absolute best shape? They don't need all of those practices because there was the expectation that you needed to get ready for camp.
Yeah.
Now the expectation is if you don't come in the best shape of your life,
you're behind.
You're going to find yourself in a new uniform potentially because you're going to be gone. So that part of it is there's a real yin and yang to it. I'm excited to be able to see it, and I'm excited for you to be able to get your first sight at it on hand. And also, you're going to get a really, really good look.
I can't wait.
You brought the binoculars.
I brought the binoculars, baby. I'm in full
You're in full Doug Russell mode here. That's what I'm talking about.
Vibe mode right now. The tough thing is, Billy, I have the shades.
You do have the Varsity Blood Center shades.
You can't really look through the binoculars
zoom it in as well
with the shades, so you got to kind of pop it up here like this and do the whole thing. You're going to pop it up and do that whole thing. So it's going to be a process. But we're going to love it. And Billy, I got to say one thing being here, and we talked about it a little bit before the show. It makes me think of the fact how lucky we are, how lucky Packer fans are. This is still one of the best things going for free fans line up.
One of the best family value deals of
one
all.
Of the, you're seeing one of the most
pro sports,
professional, one of the most famous professional sports teams in the world by just pulling up and walking in for free and getting ready and sitting in your bleacher and getting to watch them practice. It's one of the best experiences, unlike any other. It's what makes the Green Bay Packers, amongst many other things, still special in this landscape of professional sports. And we're lucky to be here, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
877-794-1973, how you interact with the station. And it's going to be a fun week for the station. All the shows. Outside of Mike today, he's got his golf show as well, Talking Golf, and then he'll be up here coming up tomorrow as well. We're going to have a ton of coverage and a lot of unique content.
I love that.
There's going to be a lot of great content of the players riding bikes in and all the camera lenses and things that the morning show has and different pieces of equipment. They're all going to be flexed, I would assume, over the next hour or so.
I would think, Billy.
801 said, you know the video I'd love to see is Billy lathering up Steve's bald head with some FP 55. That would be the video that would break the internet.
So that would make one of you, because that's not a video I want to see, and I don't think that's a video a lot of others want to see. Would it break the internet? Probably, only because it's so weird. Like if there was a video of you lathering up Steve Zabin's bald
head,
head,
it have the chance to go as viral as the Coldplay concert?
I don't know, bro.
I am for the brand. Like I will take the risk, but I'm going to wash my hands quite significantly.
I think you should. And I also think it might be the trending topic. The only trending topic that's the only thing people are talking about more than the Happy Gilmore 2 right now, it would probably be that. Because that's fair. It seems like everybody has an opinion on Happy Gilmore 2.
I'd also rather rub somebody's head than their back.
I'll just put that's fair. There. That's fair.
Like if Doug Russell was over here and my man's got there's certain guys that have a shaved head that probably shouldn't. Doug's got, no pause, a good-looking head.
It does.
Right, like it's a good shape. It fits the shaved head look good.
No,
like if I had to, Doug's like, hey, man, I forgot my hat. Could you give me I do that a lot more than he's like, hey, man, hold on. Could you just get my shoulders real quick?
No, that's where he draws the line.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a little bit more intimate that I'm not trying to get into.
Right, only certain
people.
It's
going to be a no dog.
And Dave, are you kind of with me? Dave Gasper's producing the show.
We don't want to forget about Dave.
Do you get where you picking up what I'm putting down on that tape?
Oh, yeah. I'm picking it up. I'm pulling the Randy Jackson. That's going to be a no for me, dog.
That's going to be a no for me, dog.
That's a no for me, dog.
Good.
And especially if, the back hair situation's a hit or miss for a lot
Correct.
of people.
Yeah, I'm not. Right. No thanks.
And listen, I'm Armenian, and listen, it's a lot worse with some
all
Armenian
due respect,
guys.
I love you. I'm not rubbing your back with sunscreen.
And I don't blame you. I did try waxing once, didn't go well. That's a whole different story.
That would have been tough.
For a whole different podcast on a whole different station, but maybe. But listen, yeah, I would have to agree with you, Billy, that would probably be the better option there. So 801 is Utah, right?
Yeah,
that
was our Utah.
Thanks for listening to us from Utah, one of the most beautiful places
in this
country.
Thank you. Yes.
But that makes one of you. I'm not looking for that video. Now, that being said, Billy, there might be a lot of other great videos, other great content out here. The vibe out here, Rainitzky Field out here at Titletown and stuff. I did have a question. You brought up the bikes. Dream Drive. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bike's going on Dream Drive. Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Too many electric bikes these days for the kids. Who's riding bikes? Come on. That's all I got to say.
God.
Well, we'll get to it later because that might be a longer rant.
Oh, that's a rant that you need to. Yeah,
but
hold on. We're not ready for that one yet.
I also don't know. Like, I haven't seen enough to know. Is that going to be a thing now?
Too many electric bikes. 877-794-1973.
Ride a bike.
We are live from Rainitzky Field. That's Armen. Sorry, that might be a good take. I'm excited to get into that with talking text line 877-794-1973. Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk some Packers family night here as at the end of the week, a beautiful week in Green Bay culminates with one of the best events in pro sports. We'll talk about it coming up next. You got the game.
Tank top and cut off jeans, little PacSun underneath. Who knew it was about to be? Sunrise, sunburn, sunset, repeat.
Hey, it's Matt LePay, your friendly play-by-play voice. I know a good team when I see one, and I found a great one in Ridgetop Exteriors. Let's talk about your home for a minute. It's most likely your biggest investment and where you spend most of your time. So my question for you, is your home ready to shine this season? Whether it's roofing, siding, or windows, Ridgetop Exteriors is the name you can trust. For over 20 years, Ridgetop Exteriors has been Wisconsin's favorite for roofing, and they bring that same expertise to siding and windows. Imagine vibrant, low-maintenance siding and energy-efficient windows that brighten your home while cutting energy costs. Ridgetop Exteriors holds all expert-level installation credentials with leading manufacturers including Pella, James Hardie Fiber Cement Siding, and LP Smart Side Engineered Wood Siding. With thousands of five-star reviews and a commitment to excellence, they're the clear choice for your home improvement project. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today, online at ridgetopexteriors.com, and consultations are always free. Ridgetop Exteriors, putting customers first every time.
Hey, it's Brian Butch. I've competed at an elite level, and let me tell you, good care isn't optional, it's everything. Rehab Lab Wisconsin gives that same level of support to not only professional athletes, but everyone who walks through the door. Whether you're chasing a podium or chasing your kids around the yard, they'll treat you with purpose. It's personal, intentional, and results-driven because you don't need to be a pro to train, recover, and move like one. Not at Rehab Lab. Go where the pros go. Life is an athletic event, and it's time for you to get back in the game. Book your appointment with Rehab Lab Wisconsin today.
What's up? It's Russell Nicolay with Nicolay Law. You're listening to 97.3 The Game, the #1 sports talk station in Milwaukee. For award-winning injury lawyers when you're injured, you call Nicolay Law or visit us at nicolaylaw.com. Get the beard, get the win.
Being present and in the moment for family activities was impossible because Will Burt was so focused on the constant pain in his leg.
My wife likes to take walks. I always kind of dreaded going on walks because they hurt. The boys both play baseball. I coach their teams. I was going to do them and be in pain and be uncomfortable and kind of sacrifice my own health.
An old Achilles injury left Will coping with agonizing pain until he discovered the natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No surgery or steroids. The procedure took place in the office, and Will walked right out.
I feel great. There's no pain. There's no tenderness.
Patients like Will are feeling amazing and living their best lives.
Ironically, just got off the golf course today. So I think that's a good telltale sign that the Achilles is feeling better.
Don't be in pain another day. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
Ah! Monstrous hairball, googly eyes. Looks like Clogzilla is back in your sink.
Not again. This always happens when I shave my back hair. Hello, Clogzilla.
Have no fear. There's a drain hero here. Just call the pros at Capital when things get hairy.
Need help defeating the beast beneath your sink? Call Capital for our best drain clearing offer ever. For only $49, we'll unclog your drain.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
97 through the games. Drew Wilson here for Pep's Draft House Pizza, the official pizza of the Timeout Sports Lounge. Pep's Draft House and the Drew and KB Show is celebrating the summer of pizza. That means bigger toppings for your oven and the quality Wisconsin demands. With 15 different varieties, it's easy to find a Pep's that pairs with your favorite brew. My personal favorite is the double pepperoni Doppelbock with a double layer of sliced and diced pepperoni from edge to edge. I love to pour an IPA to go alongside it. My goodness, that hits the spot. Find Pep's Draft House in your grocer's freezer pizza section.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demand workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, but one thing's for sure, you need a PC you can rely on. Whether it's for school, gaming, or whatever your next chapter holds, Lenovo.com has the tech to help you succeed. Shop PCs right now at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale, where students can save more when they sign up for a Lenovo education account. Free shipping, easy returns, flexible financing. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. The game is live from Packers training camp, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest. Here's Bill Schmidt and the voice of the Packers, Wayne Larrabee.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
No BS, live from Ray Nitschke Field. Billy and Sarian hanging out with you here alongside now on our beautiful perch as we get ready for Packers practice number 5. Kicks off the best week for the families of Packers fandom. Candy Goltz hangs out with us here, Assistant Director of Game Presentation for your Green Bay Packers. Candy, thanks for coming over here on a Monday morning.
Oh, no problem. Welcome. Good morning. It's beautiful out here right now.
Right now. That's a good key part of that phrase, Candy, right now.
You know what?
Good choice coming in here in the first hour.
Yeah, and you're under the tent, which is not so bad,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
I told Billy, it is going to be a hot day, but it's going to be a sun splash day, and it's always a beautiful day when we're out here at Ray Nitschke Field.
It is.
Right?
It is. My gosh, you guys have the perfect office. I mean,
Oh, that's
It
not
doesn't
bad.
suck.
We're not complaining.
It doesn't
Yeah.
suck. It's a reason why this is our favorite month of the year and then leads into our favorite season of the year. I
Yes.
know you got to be excited. Talking some Packers family night with us here, and we were talking during the break of tickets still available, still opportunities for families to come out to what Armen said, and he's exactly right, the most family-friendly and affordable event, I think, in pro sports. Still.
Yes, I agree. Yes, $10. Bring your kids, bring your family. Those are the future fans. We want to get them in the stadium. They get to see the players with their uniforms on. I mean, it's really fun. They pick out their favorite players. Yeah, $10. A lot of activities going on. We do a lot of giveaways. We do a lot of game day music,
Love that.
dance cams. We have a Say Cheese cam. So a lot of really fun stuff for the kids.
I like to say this is when the entertainment staff really gets to show their chops and what they've been working
That's
for
fair,
in
yes.
the off season. All the
Yes.
different cams, they get to workshop all their stuff, see what works. And yeah, like you said, it's not just football, right? It's entertainment, and there's going to be fireworks as well.
Yes, the fireworks. Those are my favorite. That's the best part of the night. Yes, if you can make it until probably about 9:30, 9:40. We do fireworks and lasers coordinated to music.
Ooh,
we do
that's
some really
awesome.
good good music. Lights go out. I mean, not often do we have all of the lights out in the stadium, so it's really cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And talking to players and former players and alumni, it's always their favorite day because of what you just said. Families come out after and they give the jerseys away. And that kind of communal family atmosphere is something that I think is so unique to this team.
Yes, and I think coach is doing a lot more of that, making sure the families. I know during camp, the families are over there watching practice, but it really is a chance. Those rookies and those young players coming out to come out onto the field in more of a relaxed environment, to be out under the lights, a full stadium. And then at the end, your family comes out on the field and watches the fireworks with the players.
Cool,
I know
cool.
it's. Yeah.
Well, I always like to say it's a great event because the vibes are always going to be great going home because there's no chance you can lose. Like you're
That's true.
You're going to the game.
The Packers are going to win.
You're going. Everyone's going to be happy no matter what because you're not going to lose. And I always like to think of things that really set Packer fans apart because I believe it's the greatest fans in the world is the Packer fan base. I'm an exceptionalist in that regard. I think we're different. I do. I always look for examples of that, and family night's my perfect example because you're filling up you're selling out the stadium, you're really celebrating the team, the organization, and the fans. And a lot of teams can't do it, don't do it, and won't do it, and the Packers are always unique in that regard, and it's one of the best shining examples of that.
Yeah, it really is. And we do NFL meetings with other teams that do what I do, and every year they're like, how do you get that many people in there for a practice? And it's, you know what? It's our fans. We just have the greatest fans.
They just want to. They want to
be there. They want to be a part of it.
Be a part of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's got you. You're grinning from ear to ear.
Love that. That's my favorite. It's my favorite.
It is. I laugh about it all the time and talk to people that do what we do in different markets, and that always comes up of the amount of people that get excited for a practice.
Mm-hmm.
The players do get excited, though. You mentioned the rookies getting their first chance to be in there as well, and it. Over the years has evolved. I think different coaches have used it in different ways. You mentioned Matt LaFleur, though. He really leans in on the family aspect of it.
Yes, and I see a lot of that. The coaching staff is young, so I mean they all have young kids too. So I think that might be part of it. We started including the families in the introductions, so you'll see that they will run out with the players run out with their kids out onto the field.
Awesome.
So it's
great
cool
experience.
for family night. Mm-hmm.
Candy Golt's hanging out with us here, assistant director of game presentation for the Green Bay Packers. Now, game presentation, obviously, we're talking family night the entire season. Is this like two separate deals? Like we'll focus solely on family night and then all the other home games, or?
Yeah, family night is a different animal because it's not a game. So I write the game script for everything that happens inside the stadium. So, I mean, you have your regular breaks, your TV breaks. So you're filling those in with whatever our sponsors and different, the fan cams, those things, and the music. But family night is, we've got that pregame chunk. And then once the team comes out, it's the team. Yes, we do have to pay the bills with some of the sponsors as well. That, so we have to kind of fit them in there. But football only has transitions. They don't want a 2-minute break in the middle of.
That's true. They don't want us to be playing the card game up here on the screen.
Yes, so we're playing with their timeline. So we do that. So it's kind of like before and after. That's how we can juggle all of our fun stuff.
That being said, there's no doubt about it. There's a lot more families and young kids at family night as opposed to any other game event at Lambeau, a game, right? So that there's a different aspect of that. They're looking for those types of things. In-game entertainment.
They want to hear that music. So the kids' music, you'll hear a lot more kids' music than what we do for a regular game.
And why not? Because
that sounds like Baby Shark's going to get played. My son's going to be very excited about that possibility.
Anything to get those people standing up there.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. They'll start dancing. That's for sure.
Yeah, Billy. But as you know, young kids, it's a lot easier to bring them to family night because the investment is a lot easier.
Much
easier. It's going to be tougher for them to last all night. So that's why it's a great event.
Also, I think, and this is just a personal thing.
Yeah.
The bleacher might be better for families because you can stand on the ground and then you can stand on the bleacher with the little one and you're a little more secure.
You're right. They're not in those seats
right. And not falling over. I like that deal. Purchase your tickets right now. Ticketmaster.com. Only available through Ticketmaster.com.
And they're limited. They're going fast, guys. I think by Saturday they will be sold out. So
and the sellout is always people like the round number and all those hits. But 24th annual, the amount of sellouts that you've had, you mentioned that it's the envy of the league. Does it ever get old for you?
Not really. It's, why? Because it's the beginning of the season. So you just kind of like, okay, here we go. Jump right in. We get through family night. Next week we have a preseason game. So we're in it. We're in the midst
and
of
you can also group, and I know online there was a group ticket package or program? Are those kind of
those maybe
gone now?
Yes, I'm not sure they have big chunks of tickets
Okay,
together.
good.
You can always call the ticket office and check with them for sure, but I do think the tickets are limited. Eventually it might get down to single seats.
Yes.
If you're going with a group, if you're bringing little kids, you want to get your tickets now so that you can sit together.
And hey, go by yourself if you're just somebody looking for something to do.
Do an Armen Sarian.
Do an Armen, right? Just hang out. Say, I'm going on a solo. Yeah, why not? It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, listen, there's the excitement of kids being there, right? There's the excitement of the energy. What is the weather the number one thing you're worried about? Now, how often are you looking? How
Draft
far out
and
are you
family
looking
night.
out?
We still got back to weather. That's for
How,
sure.
how
Yes.
far out are you looking for the weather? Because that's the one thing you can't control, right?
No,
for
and
family
it
night.
changes. I mean, we
Sure.
could be looking at it today, and it could be totally different by
Mhm.
the time we get to Saturday. We do have a plan. We have planned water. We always make sure we have plenty of water because you end up, for some reason, getting really hot days in August. But then
Yeah.
you also have the chance for thunderstorms, and we've had
That's the
that
thing.
before.
The lightning
and
and
yes,
yeah.
we've many times stopped what's going on in the field and delayed it, and surprisingly, people just continue to stay. We've done and then been able to get back out and go through with the fireworks. So, I mean, we juggle some of that stuff, and the team is watching it as well. So, like if a storm is coming in for, let's say, 10 o'clock, maybe
Sure.
they move
Adjust
things a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
and we can make some adjustments there and see if we can get the fireworks in by 9:30 or something. So
Not-
we're constantly watching that.
Not too surprising that people stick around, Candy, especially if the concession stand
I
is
was
still
gonna
selling
say.
beer.
Oh yes, yes. And for family night, we have special things for kids. We're gonna have snow cones, and they have like kids.
Oh, now we're
A
talking.
lot
Okay.
of kid-friendly options
Yeah.
at the concession stand. So
That's exciting.
Kid
That's what I'm
friendly,
talking
not for
Kid-friendly.
like
No,
I'm not gonna hit the snow cone stand. you know?
Yeah, like Armen's. That one's
Yeah.
for my daughter. Well, why do you
the
have
thing
four?
is, they're not checking your age at
Good.
those stands.
I meant yeah.
they
that's
do when
fine.
you go and order the kids' meal.
That's for all the other kids. Oh yeah, right.
That's kinda
Exactly.
rude of them at
Exactly.
Applebee's
Come
to
on,
be doing that.
what are you guys doing there? Come on.
Get
now.
to
And I
family.
want the toy.
Well,
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
And
you
I
want
want
the
the
toys.
toys,
Don't
right.
check my
Yes.
age. I'm not giving you my birth certificate. So
Yeah.
doors will open for the events at 5:30. T will be taking the field for warm-ups coming up at 7. Practice beginning at 7:30. You mentioned parking lots open right around 1 or 2 o'clock.
1:30. Parking
1:30,
lots open
okay.
up at 1:30. A lot of activities going on in the parking lot. That fan walkway, the Johnsonville Tailgate Village will be open. There's a DJ in there, so a lot of stuff happening there. Also, Titletown at 1:30, they have Family Fest. So again, a lot of activities for kids
Yes.
going on, both sides of the stadium.
And the Titletown football field is an awesome place
It
for
is.
families.
It is. Oh my gosh, get those kids, let them run around and get all that energy out.
Well, that
And
is
the
a key
parents, the best
factor.
thing is you have eyes on them because it's flat. You
Yes.
kind of know where they're at.
Yep.
Oh, just rub. You're okay.
You're
There's no
good.
dirt on there, so you're not gonna rub some dirt. Just wipe
Shake
it
it
off.
off.
You're okay, buddy. You're gonna be okay.
Yep.
One question that people always ask: if you're associated around, people know that you work for the Packers.
Mhm.
How are the Packers going to be this year? What's your how are the
There you
Packers going
go.
to be? What's the excitement level?
Well, they're
going on?
always great. They're always going to be great,
Yes,
right?
yes.
My goodness. I mean,
Yes.
our goal is Super Bowl at the end of the year. We want to be working into February. So
Well, one time I asked Gilbert Brown his prediction. He said, Armen, I predict 16-0. And that was back then. 16 every year. All right. So 16-0 is a prediction. So.
Yeah, somehow
Yes,
Gilbert was
yes.
never wrong on that prediction.
No,
but
never.
always was.
No, it was always the same one for him. So do you get excited too? Are you a football junkie? Do you get
I
excited for that
am.
aspect of it?
I am. I am. And we have 2 boys, so my kids are into it too.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
How old?
they are now they're 27 and 21.
Oh,
so
that's
but
awesome.
throughout the years, it's been really fun watching that, and they think mom has a cool job, so I think that
I
helps.
I was gonna say, yeah, no doubt. Mom definitely wins some points being the cool one that works for the Packers. No doubt about
Yeah.
it. Candy Goltz hanging out with us here on No BS. Final thing for you, and this whole past year, and now let's be honest, like 2.5 years, game planning towards the NFL draft. Can you still get the smile off your face when you think about how amazing it was and
You know
how
what?
everything seemingly worked out according to plan?
Yes, it worked out according to plan. I just wanted. I mean, aren't you proud of the city and of
Yeah,
the state?
absolutely.
I think that's the biggest thing is the fans came out and the city just shined. So I think we did really well.
There wasn't much of a question that we would, Armen, but it was cool to be able to see
It was
that it
cool to
ultimately
see
did.
it, right?
Yes.
And even I just got back about a week ago from some meetings with other colleagues, and it looked awesome on TV. It's like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, thank you. Yes, it did. You
And
know, I mean, otherwise we've seen the Nashvilles, we see Kansas, and like
Uh-huh.
all of those, and it's,
The national
looked really good.
admiration after what, not that you needed to have everyone tell you how good you were, but it is nice to get a little pat on the back.
It's huge. It's huge. And everything went off without a hitch. It looked amazing on TV, like you said. And I think it was really refreshing for a lot of people, a lot of football fans to see this, one of the original franchises and the community that's still there and really a place where people still love professional football. And, yes, things have changed a little bit around here. We have beautiful new Titletown district, but the legacy and the history is something that a lot of people love in sports. And this is a living example of it. And a chance to show that to the world was special for a lot of people.
Yeah, and Lambeau Field is a bucket list for everybody. We
Absolutely.
always say, we might not be your favorite team, but we'll be your number 2.
Oh,
That's a good one. Yes, we're everyone's easy number 2.
Yep,
no doubt about it.
How can you not love it when you come in and do a stadium tour? And it's so unique. It's so unique. And our facilities does such a great job keeping that stadium looking brand new.
Right.
How many other stadiums are younger than this stadium and are getting renovated or knocked down and, they're rebuilding. So they just do a remarkable job.
Well, and you guys in game presentation, I know you got a meeting. I really apologize for how long we're keeping
I'll
you.
stay down here until noon.
But all right,
don't
threaten that. But in the midst of that, how hard is it to keep some of that old historic feel, but also add in some new stuff? Because you guys have done a really good job of
the
it.
video boards, and it's like, bringing in the music and, just incorporating some of those new things. But if you go into the stadium, we're still old school. We don't have the ribbon boards. So how can we adjust? How can we still take care of our sponsors and our clients and make it a good show for them, but still keep it Lambeau Field?
For what you guys do
a phenomenal job of it. Yep.
Modernizing while keeping that history, that historic feel, that tradition has got to be one of the toughest balances, but no one does it better than the Packers. And there's no doubt about it. So
well, and tell our friend Deja Smith-Jenkins that we say hi.
Yes.
We work with her down in Milwaukee, so we
Saturday,
love being able to hang out with her.
Yep.
And she's going to do a phenomenal job. Saturday is going to be
Just
awesome.
Great.
Anything we forgot?
I don't think so. We talked parking lot, gates open. Yep, get your tickets early.
Get your tickets.
Yep, those
What
are
are we
going to be
waiting
gone
for?
by Saturday.
And they might all be gone by the time you
by
get
the
to
time
that
we're
10
done
a.m.
talking
meeting.
here.
Candy, thank you so much for
Thank
hanging out with us,
you.
and can't wait for Saturday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks,
Candy
guys.
Golds Packers hanging out with us here, Assistant Director of Game Presentation with us live from the Perch. Armen Sarian and I are back on the other side. We'll get an update as well from our friend Doug Russell. And then Tim Allen, the franchise, talks some Brewers inside of a week from the trade deadline. And we're going to kick off the biggest series of the year for your Milwaukee Brewers with the franchise on the other side. Live from Ray Nitschke Field, you got the game.
At the game, we've always been about sports, I love sports, and stuff.
I'm multifaceted.
So recently, we spent a lot of money using a consultant to come up with a new name for our website. After minutes of research, we're excited to announce 97.3 thegame.com is now thegameandstuff.com. Really? That's it. Thegameandstuff.com. Your favorite shows, live, podcasts, cool videos, and more. Thegameandstuff.com. That's it.
Start your painting project and save big on everything when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's premier interior paint is a paint and primer in one that provides excellent all-around performance and a durable finish that's easy to clean. Visit us in-store or on Menards.com to save big on all Pittsburgh paints and get your project started today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Victor Harding for Warshevsky. Need to know what personal injury firm will get you maximum compensation? Ask around. Warshevsky is regularly referred to friends and family members of former clients, other lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers. Insurance adjusters often are adversaries. Refer Warshevsky because people with experience know we will achieve the maximum judgment or settlement possible. If someone you love is injured, please let them know because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
KB here. If you've got nagging aches and pains, you got to try Happy Place Hemp CBD and Delta 8 gummies. Just go to happyplacehemp.com, use the promo code DrewKB at checkout, get 25% off your order. Start feeling better right away. That's happyplacehemp.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The Packers play here.
Does it in style.
WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Teachers often make a difference in our lives or the lives of our kids. Here's a chance to do something great for a local public school teacher. Nominate him or her in the iHeartRadio Thank a Teacher Powered by Donors Choose program. Nominated teachers will be in a random drawing to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teacher.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine & More, the place to go for sipping rosés with seltzers on ice, making margaritas with your favorite tequilas. It's warm out, let's go. Our prices are low on spirits, beer, and wine. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Make 97.3 The Game your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
This hour of No BS is brought to you by Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
At Ray Nitschke Field. Yeah, Dave, I think we just 86 Doug. I don't know where he's at. How about this one? Hector Gomez. Source over the night, last night. Now, Hector Gomez, not former Brewer.
That's what I was
Hector
thinking
Gomez.
at first. I'm like, are we bringing him back? Like to play? Like,
No.
Okay, good.
But we're bringing in a Hector Gomez 27 on social media to say last night that he said, source, Brewers emerge now as a top suitor for Diamondbacks third baseman all-star Eugenio Suarez.
Okay.
Prospects like Logan Henderson, we know him, sweet stash, 23 years old, came up here and was striking guys out of the big league.
Good young player, but somebody you know that someone's going to want in a deal.
23 years old.
Yeah, good young pitcher.
Right-handed pitcher Brett Wisnowski and second baseman Josh Adamczewski.
All right, so those guys both work the late shift. definitely in West Dallas.
I was going to say they're either working down at Stallis Palace or they're working over near the Patrick Cudahy plant.
I was trying to think of the first dive bar that came to mind, and you'd be shocked to think that
the Corners Club over on like 44th and Loomis. Am I right around there?
43rd and Loomis,
yes.
43rd and Grange.
Grange, yes.
Corner
Grange.
Club was an interesting place, no doubt. I
went to I had a Corner Club meetup one time before an opening day. That was where the whole group met up, and as like the 5th grader at Corner Club at about 9 in the morning, you definitely got some looks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was
you definitely got some looks. I think my dad probably got more looks than everybody else, but yeah, listen, Brewers fan.
Yeah, now, all right. So this is the first kind of, I don't want to say tangible.
So we got to trade potentially Logan Henderson and Pipe Bomb's 2 favorite prospects.
Right now, yes,
for
exactly.
Eugenio Suarez for 2 months.
This is now we talked about like Hector Gomez. I don't think of him as an inside. I didn't think of him until right now. Like, so on a scale of like Buster Olney to Francis Romero, whereas
do you want an answer?
Yeah, I think I would.
Because
like
Yankees Treehouse asked the only person that can tell us.
Yankees Treehouse. Like a blog, probably. Okay.
Brock, has Hector Gomez ever been right? I can't remember a single time. Brock answered with Hector Gomez has a mixed track record as an MLB insider, especially strong on Latin American players. He correctly reported extensions like Wander Franco's.
Well, okay.
He did get extended.
He did.
He did get extended.
And years are important to him. I'm sorry. They are.
Not important enough, Armen.
Well, actually, you're right. They're not important. They're not important to him. That's him right. Well, it's just a different. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
So Wander Franco's extension, that was one of the best things you've ever said on this radio.
I appreciate it.
I'm so proud of you. Eloy Jimenez plus signings like Nelson Cruz to the Nationals, but many reports get denied initially or fizzle out. Not always right, but not never. All
right. So is this solid?
Not never.
Is this solid? We don't know.
Holy
but at least
cow.
It's a glimmer of hope. And the nice thing is right now it's making a Cub fan nervous. And that's what I like to know. You know, at least somewhere there's a Cub fan reading that, being nervous about it. It's one of those deals where if he came out and said the Cubs were, I'd be like, this guy, no one knows about this guy.
No one knows who this guy is.
But, you know, I'm considering it because you put our name in there. Now, prospect-wise, awesome. Dave, are those the type of guys you'd be more comfortable with? Obviously.
How do you feel about parting with Wisnowski?
Because I am.
Yeah, Witrowski, I'd definitely be open to trading, and I think should be available at the trade deadline. Giving up both Henderson and Adam Shesky in this deal, it's definitely a high price tag. I think it's something that the Brewers certainly seems like they're willing to consider.
Young, high draft picks. Are they where are we looking at with Adam Shesky?
So Adam Shesky, he was a late round pick in 23, but they gave him like 4th round money. So like they gave him big time money.
Got it.
So
second baseman.
Yeah, second baseman. He's been lighting it up in Low A Carolina this season.
So
he's been arguably their best hitter down there.
I'd say so. I would say that's the type of guy I'd feel comfortable.
And that's where Jesus Made is, correct? With that Carolina Mudcats.
Yes.
Team.
So you know, obviously you got a potentially great player already at that position. Whether or not they move Bryce, whether or not Made's also their probably top prize. So a guy, you know, he's played his way into a tradable asset. That's the type of guy I'm okay trading. Now, here's the thing. I like to think of it, all due respect to these guys as humans, I like to think of it like meat, right? So I'd rather trade 3 hamburgers than my best filet mignon, right? Because I always think fans – now, hold on. I always think fans get caught up into this thinking that quantity equals quality, and I don't think it does. Now, Logan Henderson's obviously showed great, stuff, potential, and he's a good player. But a lot of fans are always like, oh, give me a 4th and so many, a big haul, which means you get – just because there's a lot of guys doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be quality.
Yeah,
right?
Quantity over quality doesn't always equal the best return. I like what you're saying there. And also John, the engineer on the Talking Text line said, don't give up any of the Polish guys.
I love that, John.
Look at what happened with Mizorowski.
Look what happened
with
Ramaszewski.
That is fair. And Orlowski. There would be a potential uprising. And our friend Tim Allen of the Baseball Postgame Show is joining us. Now, he would be the one that, I don't know how he would be able to talk Jeff Orlowski off the potential edge if they traded 2 of the Polish prospects in return.
Bomb.
Dude, are you kidding me?
He would turn into Polish napalm.
He would be losing his mind, Timmy. However, that 3-for-1, I don't know if you heard us talking about Hector Gomez, not the former Brewer. but the now MLB Insider has a report that the Brewers emerge overnight as the top suitor for Eugenio Suarez. Prospects like Logan Henderson, Brett Witrowski, and Josh Adamczewski were the three that were named in there. How does that sit with our friend Tim Allen?
Again, Armen, to your point there, I think the one thing quantity does is it gives you more shots at the special
That's
one.
a good point. Yeah, the Sexton trade is one I think of that did that, right? Because
or the Adam Lind trade.
Well, another one, yeah. Because when the Brewers traded Sexton for like 6 players, Lyle Overbay was a guy that no one knew about, but he turned out to be really good. So that's a good point, Timmy. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Well,
and so again, if they are the leading candidates here, God bless them. We were talking over the weekend about what Mark Atanasio had said, and he pretty much said, and Matt, you got to go do something. He's going to do something. We all know it, don't we? Right?
Yeah, and I thought those comments over the weekend, Timmy, confirmed what I had been somewhat speculating with Mark A. Not that he is going to act because people are saying a certain thing about him. However, he hears every single thing that the talking heads in the city have discussed. And I think that there is a little bit of urgency that he'll feel to say, hey, man, hold on. I had a plan. Listen, you guys didn't trust me. I knew what we were doing here. You guys didn't think that I was going to save the money during the middle of the year and the first part of the year to then bulk up at the trade deadline. You guys just got to trust me on this.
He said the money's not the issue here.
Not going to be the issue.
Right. You're going to only have to pay for a third of that, whatever it is, whatever you require.
Yes.
So I gotta be honest, Timmy. I thought you'd be a little more excited about that report than it seems like you are.
Well, see, and here's where my head's at this morning, because I was thinking about my demanner here heading into a Cubs series, and I try this every series, and it
Don't
never
be philosophical
works.
now.
Please do. I like it.
Yes,
geez.
it never works. I try and show just a calm demeanor.
I
when
see.
the series starts, like I'm not going to get real worked up about this.
Yeah. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt.
They're just 3
No,
games.
and then by about the 4th inning, I'm screaming out loud, and it's just game on from
like he's never screamed before. That's the thing. That's where I know you're so full of it that you are by the top of the 3rd inning going to be so enraged that you've thrown that transistor radio into the couch, not across the room, because Timmy doesn't want to buy a new one.
Right.
And that thing has survived a number of different frustrations.
The
right.
old ones always do.
It's a quick little slam into the couch.
The dogs are going to think the world is coming to a close, like they did back when Travis Shaw hit a huge homer against the Cubs.
I'll never forget that one.
It was the first time. I don't even know what year that was, but I was at an age where it finally dawned on me that home run, Billy. Seriously, it dawned on me, dude. You can't do this to yourself, because I got like this piercing headache. Like, ooh, what did you just do to yourself?
I remember that you during the second segment, I believe it was 2019, during the second commercial break, Tim kind of like said back to me, he goes, dude, I think I got to calm down.
Yeah. I mean, I still get riled up.
Yeah, for sure.
Was over the top. I mean, that was over the top to the point where it was just a reminder that the big guy upstairs was saying, hey, dude, okay, just chill it. Just a little
let's
bit.
watch that ticker. Let's watch that ticker and the amount of Marb lights that are in here. We really got to watch that ticker.
No, we ain't watching those.
We're definitely not watching those. But
make a choice.
But you bring up the Shaw home run, and I think that's one of the best times for this rivalry. We see the Braun home run against the Cubs in 08. Every opportunity we can, and no Brewer fan ever wants to turn that highlight off. But in 18-19, Timmy, I thought the rivalry was at its peak when both teams were extremely competitive.
Yeah.
But it felt like the division title holder held such a position of power over the other, even though neither of them got home in those 2 runs. I'm excited for it to feel like that again here in 2025 over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, it's intense. Yeah. I mean, look at these 2 teams, dead even, dead heat, this deep into the season, 8 games head to head against each other in front of them. The trade deadline just days away. I mean, it does not get much better than this with regards to Brewers baseball right now. This is where we want to be.
Do you believe Suarez plays in this series for either team?
Ooh, I like that.
I don't.
Do you believe he?
I think that the Suarez thing would be just a perfect fit, and I think everyone agrees with that. Most people do agree with that.
Agree with that for their own team.
And yes, and a lot of analysts way above me agree with that.
Yeah.
But I if you're the Diamondbacks, I keep thinking about this. If you're the Diamondbacks, what would you do? What would I do? Okay, well, what I'd do is I'd hold off until probably Wednesday.
The
I wouldn't
very
take
last
it right
moment,
to
I
the,
get it. Yep.
I wouldn't take it right to the limit because then you run that risk right at the end there
of something not going down.
To your question, Billy, with the Doug Melvin and with CeCe, he wanted to get him early as possible.
He would have wanted him this past week.
So it's like if you're going to get him, why not try and make that move? Now, it's not necessarily all your choice. I get it. But that's an interesting point because you think, well, if I'm going to make this move, I might as well do it before this series.
But you also look at order of operations for these teams that are selling, right? Like, Timmy, you can't wait on everybody, right? So, like, if the Diamondbacks are going to trade one of Gallen and or Merrill Kelly, right? If they're going to trade Suarez, they already traded Josh Naylor, and I think part of that was we need to get the ball rolling here, and we can't wait, like you said, until the final 18 hours or 8 hours and then risk something doesn't go through.
Yeah.
Suarez is such a big fish that maybe you do wait a certain amount of time. So better question, August 2nd or in the 5-game series at Wrigley Field, is he playing for either team?
He quite possibly could be. Yeah.
I just thought it was fascinating with the rhetoric, Timmy, not to cut you off. But like once McMahon got dealt, and I don't know if you heard the same thing, McMahon gets traded to the Yankees and he had money attached for the future. It just seemed like instantly the conversation went to, well, he's a better option. He's a better defender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Suarez actually really below average defender. 2-month rental. There's no club control. It seems like over the last week and a half, as you've poked and prodded and talked about all these players and deadline candidates, that now everybody's found a reason to not want a Eugenio Suarez more than 2 weeks ago. Everybody was yearning for him and thirsting for him.
Yep. Some have gotten off that bandwagon of Suarez. And I get it. It's a beautiful thing about baseball. It's a trade deadline and teams are in and out, buyers and sellers and all that. Nobody's really thought of this if I'm Matt Arnold. Now we looked at the Diamondback side of things. Yeah, of course you want the biggest haul you can. But if you're Matt Arnold, has anyone talked about why can't it be more than Suarez? Here we go again. Someone's going to get me for not being satisfied with Suarez.
That is a classic. Tim
No, but
Allen,
you're not wrong. It doesn't have to only.
What
be
else
him.
can we have?
Yeah. I get your point, though, right, Timmy, is that you can not only add with him, but add potentially with anybody else, right?
There in Arizona that the pitching lab would love. Maybe there's an A-ball guy, a low A-ball guy, a young 19-year-old. Just think of it that way, that Matt Arnold, I think this could be a possibility that he not only gets the bat that they need.
Yeah.
And we all can agree they need it. I think most of us can. But I also think he gets something long-term also. So something with control on top of whatever bat he gets.
And I don't know if it's just simply reading into enough of the Ken Rosenthal pieces that you can. Not Jim Bowden, because he didn't put anything about the Brewers. 21 questions here today. 21 different questions on different contenders of who they were going to acquire. Not one suggestion about the Brewers acquiring anybody. However, Rosenthal's also pointed out, and many people have, of Nestor Cortez and the logjam that they have. Timmy, I think that's a thread the needle situation that the Brewers would potentially love. Being able to get what you mentioned, a lottery ticket back for somebody that has not helped you throughout the year, while also counting more on the guys who are already in your rotation and already helping you right now. Like Priester, Mizorowski, and Peralta, probably the 3 guys that you would most want to have going right now in this 3-game series. I don't know if Cortez fits that bill, so I could definitely see him being the guy
trade. Who's going to what? There's no one going to trade for Cortez unless they're in the race.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, teams need starting pitching a lot, don't you think, Timmy?
Well, do you want Nestor Cortez if you're a young team and out of the race right now? If you're the Nationals or the Marlins?
But if you're a team,
no, and I definitely think you would be trading him into a contender. That's what I'm saying. Like you'd be getting some kind of prospect back. Oh, okay. You just don't want to face Cortez. I got you.
That's right. Until the World Series. Then if we have to, we have to. And then
because listen, I mean, the
just
Cortez
use torpedo bats.
Yeah, Cortez in the World Series might be the best thing to be able to face. That definitely would
I'll take
potentially
that.
help you. If it happens like
Um,
last year.
Tim, how important do you think yesterday's comeback win was for the vibe of this Cubs series? I mean, not that it was ever going to be low vibes or not exciting, but it is nice to know you didn't get swept by the Marlins at home going into the series, because that would have put a damper on things after the run the Brewers have had.
Oh, it's big, man. It just evened the score. We kept it even. They're tied. They're going in. They got to win. They didn't get swept
right
by this upstart Marlins team. I get sick and tired of hearing that. But they're playing 500 baseball, and I've even said it too, so I'm ripping on myself.
I was going to say, I heard you say it a couple of times in the post game too.
And
so.
just
like a great teaching moment.
Put an end to that with the victory yesterday. We were so pleased with the victory, and Gasper can account for this. We're so pleased with the victory and celebrating at Potawatomi. That throughout that whole game, we talked about Woody and 6 innings and 2 runs and Perkins and Vaughn and doing their thing and Jackson Churio's hitting streak and heading into the Cubs series. We not once brought up that jam that Aaron Ashby got out of in the 7th inning.
Good point.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking that you didn't talk about the money line bet that you made in the top of the 8th inning.
That we talked about.
Oh, okay. That you definitely
That's a
talked
good
about.
one
Yeah,
right
that
there.
you definitely talked about. No doubt about it.
I mean, come on. Our live remote record speaks for itself. I mean, it's almost unblemished. The one loss on live broadcast the last 2.5 years. One single loss. It was to end the season last year. And since then, we haven't lost.
And don't worry. Heller already took blame for that one because he went down and started watching the game in the celebration area for the clinch. So that one's not even on you guys. I just hope that you can bring that record when you hang out with me live on Wednesday. At said Potawatomi Sportsbook before that game. Which Potawatomi? You did did another one?
I did one, yeah, for tonight's game.
Let's go.
Look at you.
I like that.
Did you do the Armen and emotional hedge and take the Cubs money line?
No, I did not.
Thank God.
I wanted to do a player prop, but they weren't out yesterday.
Yeah, they don't do them until the lineup sometimes and things like that.
So I wanted to go Churio a homer, Brewers money line, and the under run total for the game.
Holy cow. Okay, so
like
Tim
that.
Allen's parlay of the day presented by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest. And if you want to bet on Brewers and Cubs, no better way to do it is go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook on Wednesday when Tim Allen and I are broadcasting live inside the Sportsbook, and then take Potawatomi's free shuttle that is now being run just special for Wednesday, July 30th, as the Milwaukee Brewers take on Chicago. Potawatomi will get you there. Sportsbook opens at 10 a.m. on the game day, and with any same-day sports bet or sportsbook dining purchase, you will get a wristband and shuttle to the stadium. Visit Potawatomi.com for more information. Bet above the rest. Again, any same-day sports bet or sports bet or sportsbook dining purchase gets you the wristband for a shuttle over to and from AmFam Field.
What a deal.
And that home run inclusion in the parlay of the day for Tim Allen is plus 1,800.
Wow, that's a
Sportsbook.
big
Brewers
number.
money line under. You had under 8
on,
runs.
On the verge of a bit. I'm telling you, he's on the verge of a binge. I'll go you one further. That kid has more hits and more homers in this series than Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oh, that's what I love to hear. Okay, now we're talking, Timmy.
And Jackson has kind of flown under the radar, but he's had a quietly good year and getting better and better year. Right,
20-game hitting streak.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, how many guys have a 20-game hitting streak and people don't talk about it?
I don't know, Armen, but it still seems like something that would have to be included in Team Streak 2.0.
Billy, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was ready with this text if the Brewers had lost yesterday. Team Street 2.0 question mark, because there would have been 3 L's in a row. I didn't want to think about it. I was ready with that. I think Billy's prophecy is coming true. Now, I'm cool with that, Billy, as long as the winning streak comes in October.
Yes.
Because that's all we need, you know?
Yeah, we don't want to fully replicate Team Streak 2.0.
You
guys can correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't make the playoffs.
No, they didn't, but they did win 91 games. So I think in this playoff structure, they would have. So,
I mean, but we're saying
I get it.
replication. That would mean a very, very bad streak at the back end here because they haven't lost the 11.
Right. No, that's
the
a fair
Brewers,
point.
I think, Billy, we were talking about it earlier in the season with you guys and with everybody. You know, has the state of Wisconsin, caught on? Have they caught the fever, the Brewer fever? I think we're there now. I think we're definitely officially there. Neighbors and just acquaintances, everybody one of the guys in the band called me this morning. He goes, "Hey, I saw your Brewers won yesterday and they play the Cubs tonight." Oh my gosh, is what he said.
Oh, that's awesome. Your Brewers.
Yeah, Well, he lives in Lake Villa, Illinois.
Oh,
I know where that is.
Hold on. So you're in a band with Cub fans?
One of them.
It is Kenosha.
Huh, interesting. John in Green Bay said, the more I listen to this Tim Allen guy, the more I don't understand what he wants. I'm going to have a cold one and try to understand the situation. I like that. A World Series.
Yeah,
that's what Tim Allen wants. He doesn't care about happiness and love and admiration. He wants a World Series, damn it, for his baseball team.
And hopefully it's happening.
Hopefully it's happening this year. Brother, I can't thank you enough. I can't tell you how excited I am to chop it up at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Take the free shuttle over to American Family Field and watch the Brewers take out the Cubs in Game 3. Hopefully tonight, Tim Allen's same game parlay fires in and wins.
I like
Brewers money line under 8 runs, Jackson Trio home run, plus 1,800 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's elite.
Huge value.
That is huge value. Elite mind. Sports gambling mind, Tim Allen, and he's going to be live at the Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up on Wednesday and live tonight after Game 1 of Brewers and Cubs.
Epic shows over the years on the post-game show when it's Brewers Cubs. So
they really are.
I'll just apologize now for whatever happens tonight.
Was the crying shaking naked in the fetal, was that after a Cubs game?
Probably.
Armen's never heard that before, Tim.
No,
yeah, I haven't.
On YouTube,
I haven't.
He had never heard that before, so I'm gonna dig up the archives, and I think I might have to call our old buddy Mike, and he might have a super mega mix.
Please do, because you owe Timmy one after the voicemail of an archive dig up. You know.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I do owe you one for that one. Maybe that happens tomorrow. All right, brother, we'll listen tonight.
Oh boy.
This guy. Listen, we'll talk tomorrow.
See you later.
See you, buddy. That is Tim Allen hanging out with us here on No BS. He's going to be live after the game here tonight on the Baseball Postgame Show. Game 1, Brewers and Cubs. Ms. Day, Jacob Mizorowski on the bump for the crew tonight. Wayne Larrabee, voice of the Green Bay Packers, is alongside. He's going to be hanging out with us here as the Packers get ready for practice number 5. We get a nice breeze, and we get pads on. Coming up next, you got the game.
Packers football returns August 9th. Can you believe it? It's the preseason opener against the Jets at Lambeau. Jacobs plowing the middle to the end zone. Touchdown! And the only place to hear it is right here, Milwaukee's most listened to sports station and the home of the Green Bay Packers. And there is your dagger. 97.3 The Game.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas. T-Mobile Arena. Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. Listen, starting next Monday, to win your way there.
Get your laundry Vegas ready with Armen Hammer Power Sheets. Just toss in a detergent sheet. No drips, no plastic jugs, no mess. Armen Hammer is a proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Clean up before you turn up. Shop Armen Hammer Power Sheets now.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Give your home a fresh, updated look with Pittsburgh's exterior paint. Ultra is a paint and primer in one that provides excellent height and coverage, and it can be tinted to create thousands of color options. View our entire selection of Pittsburgh's exterior paint today on Menards.com. Plus, view our weekly flyer and check out all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
Warshawski's Victor Harding, Best Lawyers Product Liability Attorney of the Year, achieves maximum compensation.
Best Lawyers Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year, Warshawski's Frank Cravello achieves maximum injury compensation.
Injured?
It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
Drew Olson from 97 through the game for Pep's Pizza. Summer is the greatest thing since sliced pizza, and you deserve both with Pep's Draft House and the Summer of Pizza. We often pack a lot into a summer day, but don't go hungry. Head to your cool frozen pizza aisle and check out one of Pep's 15 different varieties. It's summer. Eat pizza.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know that every 65 seconds, someone in the U.S. is developing Alzheimer's disease and 1 in 3 seniors are dying of it or another dementia? University of Wisconsin-Madison researchers are trying to improve the lives of people affected with innovative treatments, early diagnosis, and comprehensive support for families and caregivers. Together, we can improve lives and build a future with Alzheimer's disease in Wisconsin and beyond. Visit goalsforacure.org.
Coming up Monday, the Mike Heller Show, noon to 3 on the game. What a day we're going to have. First of padded practices for the Packers in Green Bay in training camp. Brewers and Cubs begin, and a trade deadline monitor all week long. The Mike Heller Show goes noon to 3 Monday on the game.
You've got an app for music, an app for photos, maybe even one that helps you sleep. But only one app puts the live radio dial in your pocket and lets you save your favorite stations, playlists, and podcasts as presets. Get the free iHeartRadio app, the #1 app for radio.
The destination for Packers training camp coverage.
Let's do it. Ready?
The flagship of the Green Bay Packers radio network. 97.3 The Game. Make 97.3 The Game your #1 preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
The Game Live from Packers training camp is brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better
Live from the Rainishke Field, the alternative remote Iron Jock Studios. And frankly, Iron Jock is quite a necessity when you're hanging out here on the perch at Rainishke Field because as much as baby powder helps, Iron Jock definitely helps with the sweat and the stains and the stink that you're dealing with here. The gold standard of performance apparel. And now through August 3rd, when you buy $75 or more, not only will you receive 25% off everything in your cart, Iron Jock will include a free short sleeve tee when you enter the promo code SUMMER25. That's 25% off and a free short sleeve tee. Promo code 25. Use it now. IronJock.com. That's IronJoc.com. I got my Iron Jock on. Armen's got all Iron Jock on.
Yeah, it was an Iron Jock type of day.
You got your Iron Jock boxers on too?
Actually, I don't know. I can't remember. I was dark when I got dressed this morning, so I just kind of reached for whatever I could.
Those aren't even actually his boxers.
Yeah, I hope they are.
Well, that makes sense. That's why they're poking through the shorts. No pause, Dave. They're not even his underwear. That's why it goes. And that's why we're keeping him away from the distinguished and honored guest here, Wayne Larrabee, who joins us now up at the perch. Wayne, being able to see shoulder pads on players is always a welcome sight, especially when it's one day later than we maybe anticipated would be happening here at Rainishke Field. Real football starts getting played here today.
Yeah, it does. And Matt LaFleur said this morning at his presser, he said, this is when you start finding out about guys, We've been watching OTA practices. These have been nothing more than what we saw in the spring with OTAs and the mini camp. You've got guys flying around and doing things like that, but nobody's wearing pads and nobody's really hitting. You won't see real hitting here, but you'll see thud hitting. And that's a little bit different. And now you start finding out. You can now start looking, Billy, at the offensive and defensive lines.
Amen.
You can look at linebackers and start assessing those positions, but you couldn't do that before.
No, and we've talked about it in preparation for camp that I think the biggest battles along any position groups are mostly along the lines and being able to identify who's going to be playing left tackle, who's going to be playing right guard. Today, maybe there's a little bit clearer future coming up because we hear Elton Jenkins coming off of the NFI list and he's going to start getting phased back into work with that back deal. Aaron Banks was down for a couple of days with a little bit of a back thing, but until you get your presumed best five out there, hard to think of and finding out who actually is your best five.
Yeah, and again, people asking, what about Elton Jenkins? When are they going to get this thing done? Well, they have to get it done. Their whole offensive line plan revolves around Jenkins moving to center from left guard, Banks coming in at left guard, and then you've got, a battle at right guard and left tackle, and we'll see how that all sifts out. But Sean Ryan, I think it's going to be hard to dislodge him. And I think it's going to be hard to dislodge Rasheed Walker as well. Sheed has had a good camp. He played well down the stretch last year. I think he's a pretty solid left tackle. Now, a year from now, a lot of that could be different.
Very different because free agency will talk and money will talk, Armen. But, Wayne, when you see Rasheed Walker, there's a grass isn't always greener on the other side. It might be that for the Packers of knowing this year it might not be greener to go somewhere else. But I think the other unique part of this and the wrinkle that can always get thrown in is that the Packers are like the only team in the NFL that doesn't mind rotating offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, it's almost blasphemy. Yeah. And the Packers kind of revel in it. I heard Matt talking about it with ESPN this past week. I was like, we played 7 offensive linemen last year. We're not afraid to do that again.
Yeah, exactly. And, the thing about it is, for example, Jordan Morgan, first-round draft choice, Anthony Belton, second-round draft choice this year. Morgan a year ago, first-round draft choice. These two kids are going to figure in the scheme sooner or later. Yeah. And I think sooner, maybe next year, where they'll really push for a starting spot. Not that they're not this year, but the fact is, I think, the incumbents on that offensive line, I think it's pretty well set. To me, it is. Now, it may not be to Luke Butkus and to Matt LaFleur, and those are the guys that really count. But I think it's going to end up being, Rasheed Walker, barring injury. I think you can see Anthony Banks there at left guard. Mm-hmm. You're going to see Elton Jenkins at center. Sean Ryan as a road grader at right guard. And then the right tackle, of course, Zach Tom. In the future now, Belton is a guy they're keeping at tackle for now. They want him settling in on the outside, as Matt LaFleur said this morning. And then they think he has the ability to play guard if need be. Morgan is a guy they probably feel has a little more flexibility, either tackle or guard, and he might be a guy who steps in next year at the guard position. We'll see.
It seems like once upon a time in this league, consistency was so important for those positions for teams. Like they felt like they just wanted to keep guys in those positions for better or for worse. But the Packers really don't have a problem going with the 5 best at any time, right, Wayne?
Right. And I think the reason they drive all of us nuts, people who watch these OTA practices and now training camp and, so-and-so's at left tackle. What's that mean? Well, it doesn't mean much of anything. They're trying to make sure, see if he can play there. And if he can play there, then maybe they've got some versatility. I've told people over the last several years the depth of the Green Bay offensive line isn't so much in numbers of bodies, but in the versatility of those bodies.
Yeah. Amen.
And, so I think that's where it's been the last, especially 2 years ago. Last year, we saw that they needed a little more depth of personnel, and that's why they go in free agency to get Banks, and that's why Belton is drafted in the second round.
I think it's one of my favorite parts of covering sports and seeing pro teams operate differently than we would as couch GMs, right? Like you see it right this week in baseball, Wayne, of all the different teams and people are going to say, well, my team needs a second baseman. My team needs an outfielder. My team needs a third baseman. And then the front office is like, no, starting pitcher. Like that's where we need to get better. Yeah. I think the Packers almost did that a little bit this year when not many people watched their season a year ago and said, you know where they're going to have to spend their biggest free agent dollars? Offensive line and or cornerback. Where you would have thought maybe pass rusher would have been one of those spots that they went and addressed 2 spots where people thought they have a lot of different opportunities and options there.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think you find out what we all have our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And then you find out what the front office really knows and believes. And they said, hey, we need corner and we need offensive line. And, Anthony Banks, I believe, Aaron Banks.
Oh, Aaron Banks, yes.
I keep saying Anthony. Aaron Banks is a big part of that at the guard spot. They paid a lot of money for him. And people say, well, why do they do that? Well, he fits what they're trying to become up front. And that's a more physical run between the tackles type of offensive line.
And
Aaron Banks, but Aaron Banks and Anthony Belton, they're going to have to get used to people putting their names together.
Oh, absolutely.
Like when you got a combination of A, B, and they come in the same offseason, you're going to have to get used to people.
And that's assuming our other Banks might still make the team.
That's true. My man was firing up the crowd over there.
Yeah, exactly. Number 72.
Come on now. That's what we like to see.
And I think, and we talked about it, you've talked about it a lot, Billy, it's also a response to some of the best defensive linemen now being inside, right? So you're trying to, because of that, the price of guards has gone up.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
No question about that. And Elton Jenkins might reset if he stays at center. He might eventually reset the standard there.
Yeah.
The Bears signed Dahlman this year, and he was the highest paid center. I want to say 3 years, $37 million during free agency. So you just see the discrepancy in years and dollars per year that you get at that spot.
And obviously, Creed Humphrey in Kansas City is the best center, bar none,
By
in the
far,
game today. But, we'll see how it all sifts out. But you're starting to see guards get a little bit more, and I think you're going to start seeing centers get a little more money.
Amen. Especially if these quarterbacks are going to make the kind of money that they're making. You
Exactly.
got to be able to protect. Before we take quick time out, I want to ask you about Nate Hobbs on the other side. But stay on the trenches and stay on the lines. Again, it's difficult to be able to forecast who's separating themselves and who's going to give them an opportunity. But they get 2 Georgia guys on the last day of the draft. In Brinson and Stackhouse. Stackhouse yesterday had a couple of good plays out during team run and blew up a couple. But they got to replace TJ Slayton, who played so much ball for the Packers last year. And that's similarly to like how John Runyon was a couple of years ago, where it's like he just played a ton of snaps, and being able to take over somebody's job for that and give that to 1 or 2 different guys, that's a lot to ask.
Nazir Stackhouse certainly looks the part.
Yeah,
he looks the part. Can he play? That's what we're going to start finding out maybe a little bit today and as we get into the preseason games. But you're exactly right, Billy. My question on defense is they were good against the run last year, but that was with, TJ Slayton on the line and anchoring the middle of that defensive front. This year, I'm wondering, who's going to do that? I know they were excited to be able to get Stackhouse as a college free agent to come in here. He has, he played even a little bit more at Georgia than Brinson did.
Yeah.
Brinson.
No doubt.
So, I think that this is going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But they need somebody they're going to have to stop the run with size up front. And Stackhouse is the guy who can maybe give them that.
Yeah, it is interesting. Watching back on Georgia and watched a lot of Georgia games because be honest with you, I bet on a lot of Georgia games. Stackhouse was on the field all the time. And like when they got him as an undrafted dude, I was like, holy cow,
surprised.
That's a good one. That feels like a good guy to be able to get late in there. And TJ Slayton, it was a good deal for a former 5th-round pick, 2 years, $14.5 million that he signed with the Bengals. And understandably so. People need beef. And you need somebody that's that size to be able to clog up the interior, especially when teams are going to run the football as much as you're seeing more of in 24 and 25. And this Packers team, if you're going to run the ball as much as we anticipate, you got to stop it to be as effective as you want to be.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think this league, it's always been, Billy, the good teams are able to run the football and stop the run. And I understand we've spent 30 years now in the passing game. That's fine. But in the final analysis, when it gets down to nut-cutting time in January, you better be able to run the ball, and you better be able to stop the run.
Especially if your stadium tends to snow. Right, Armen? Yeah.
In this weather.
Especially if you're going to be hosting a playoff game that we've talked about far too often already, Wayne, in 2021 when the snow is going to fly in the second half, and you got to be the more physical football team. No doubt about it. Pads are on right now. Brandon McManus is loosening up the arm a little bit.
I tell you what, he's got a tight spiral. I'm not saying we run some fakes or anything like that, but he can throw the ball. Now, it might just be my perspective. Maybe all these guys
Well, I don't
throw.
know. You got the binoculars on. You're going to get the best look out of any of us here on the Purge at Ray Nitschke Field. Armen Sarian's eyeing it up. Wayne Larrabee's hanging out with us. I'm Billy Schmidt. It's No BS statewide on the game.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Your escape, your backyard retreat, your deck. Build it better with Trex from Blifford Lumber. The original composite decking. Trex is famously durable, comes in a variety of colors, needs no staining, painting, or sealing. And with Blifford Lumber's decking experts, your Trex deck will be the life of your backyard. Build it better, build it local with Trex decking from Blifford Lumber. For a Blifford Lumber nearest you in Milwaukee or in the surrounding areas, visit BliffordLumber.com.
At Rehab Lab Wisconsin, I get the kind of treatment pros depend on. Even if you don't wear a jersey, you get the same level of care. Hey, it's Brian Butch. Dr. Sam and the team treat every client like an athlete, whether you're a weekend runner, a coach, or just tired of nagging pain. Their hands-on, science-backed approach keeps me performing at my peak, and it'll get you moving better too. This is elite-level rehab made accessible and effective for everyone. Go where the pros go. Life is an athletic event, and it's time for you to get back in the game. Book your appointment with Rehab Lab Wisconsin today.
When it's 94 degrees inside and you've melted to the couch,
and a dog has claimed the fridge,
and the ice cubes have melted themselves out of misery,
and you've started naming your sweat beads,
then it's officially time to call Capital. We offer same-day air conditioning service 7 days a week.
And for a limited time, all our AC service calls are free when we make the repair.
Just call Capital. We'll bring back the brrr.
Old-fashioned service you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
People can't stop screaming about Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza. And no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's frozen aisle and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian Holy Pepperoni Frozen Pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all this screaming is about.
Famous Footwear has the latest styles from all my favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. And with over 830 stores, Famous Footwear is always nearby with fit experts to make sure my new shoes fit my feet and mom's budget. She says the prices are like really good, so you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Right now, buy one pair of shoes, get one half off at your local Famous Footwear store. Some exclusions apply.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A few showers possible this morning and then partly sunny and hot with a heat advisory kicking in. High near 92, feeling more like 98 to 100 at times. Overnight tonight, another chance for rain and thunderstorms that'll last on into Tuesday. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Payday. Hardworking people need a hardworking candy bar. Packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel, Payday is definitely working hard for you. So grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it.
Coming up Monday, the Mike Keller Show, noon to 3 on the game. What a day we're going to have. First of padded practices for the Packers in Green Bay in training camp. Brewers and Cubs begin, and a trade deadline monitor all week long. The Mike Keller Show goes noon to 3 Monday on the game.
Where does Nicole Hardman fit in?
We're live from the Perch at Rainichke Field. It's Packers Practice 2025 as training camp underway in the full week-long coverage by the game, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold, bet above the rest. We're going to fire in a parlay of the day in about a half hour from right now. And Brewers-Cubs, got a feeling it's going to have a part of the parlay of the day, because you can't have touchdown parlays in training camp practices, Armen. Sorry. And as much as that would be fun to start out with here today as the first bit of walkthrough goes on, and you've busted out You got the binoculars handy.
Yeah, I got them
now,
ready to go. Yeah.
Wayne Larrabee is hanging out with us here. Wayne, you call the game with binoculars, correct? Do you use them during a call?
It depends on our location.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
really does.
Can you rate my man Armen Sarian's use of the binoculars
perfect.
here?
I mean, he's textbook.
Thank you. Appreciate that. These were like the $10 specials, I think, at Walmart somewhere.
I don't know how you guys like it in the booth, Wayne, but the videos that we sometimes get on a call of the game with you and Rock, and you get the binoculars in, then when it's identified to pivot off, that had to be something you had to work with, because when you're moving the hand and the binoculars back and forth to not hit the microphone, that's an art right there.
It is. As you know,
I hadn't thought about that.
It is.
Watch out, probably hit the microphone now.
Similar to Larry Colmus, one of your favorite sports horse callers. Horse race callers have the same deal. They have the binoculars and the headset, so it's important, obviously.
Or Frank Marabelli at Saratoga, the NYRA. Yeah.
One of the best, no doubt about it.
Well, don't need binoculars to see who's lining up at wide receiver with the first couple of units here, Wayne. Before we talk some more defense, Quay Walker back on the field. Elton Jenkins back on the field early. He just got a couple of reps here on the walkthrough at center. But the two rookie wide receivers, Matthew Golden and Savion Williams, who's back after a little bit of a concussion early in camp. Interesting that they spliced the young guys in first out of the gates.
Very interesting, isn't it? I don't think it means anything more than they're trying to get people, acclimated and all that. But now the first unit is in there, but different combinations of people. Marshawn Lloyd is out there. Romeo Dobbs at wide receiver. Wicks is wide to the right, and they've got Tucker Kraft on the wing at tight end. So, you got different combinations of people up here.
And if you believe in the competition, the rising tide lifts all boats. That's right, the wide receiver group, right, guys? Because I can't stop thinking about how important of a year it is for Dontavian Wicks. Showed the flashes, his first year, obviously the talent was emerging, and then had to step back with the drops last year. Now, in theory, gets drafted over by, obviously, Golden, and you can make the case for Savion as well. In theory, that these guys are drafted, and he's got to find his place in the league again.
Yeah, he does in some ways. But he came on, Armen. I was mentioning this on with Zabe this morning and Butchie. He actually came on down the stretch last year. He caught 22 of 30 targets down the stretch. But all the drop passes early in the season, that's all anyone was talking about.
Right.
So this kid kind of overcame that, and you have to be really proud of what he did. He overcame the mental lapse of those drops and started to perform down the stretch the way we knew he could. And I think this year he's looked very good in camp. And you say, well, you can't tell much about football players until they put the pads on. But you can look at in these OTA practices without pads, you can see the receivers and the cornerbacks and how people cover and how they run, that kind of thing. And he's looked very good all spring.
And I'm sorry, I still think the most important thing is he gets open, and he's always open. That'll always give you a chance in this league. If you're open, you're going to get targeted.
And he gets open early, kind of like Devontae Adams. Don't want to compare him to Devontae. He's not going to be that kind of player, I don't think. But he's a guy, exactly, Armen. Among the receivers in the league, he was among the best in terms of getting open, in terms of the analytics. Among top 10 in that category.
And getting to a spot where, last year I still believe that the injury hampered Jordan for maybe a longer period of time than you thought, or it would have seemed like it would for the weeks lingering of not being able to do probably all of the ball fakes that you'd like in the backfield and the amount of play action. It just seems like they have so much speed on that outside, Wayne, to capitalize on some more play action with Golden, with Dontavian Wicks, with Jaden Reed, who was a big factor in it, and also Luke Musgrave, who we've talked about a little bit. It just feels like, especially with a healthier Jordan, we've seen him a couple of throws already in camp that have been exceptional in that mode. It just feels like that part of the offense was always missing last year.
Yeah, I think so, Billy, and I think we're going to see even more motion with those fast guys on the perimeter you're talking about. Get them in motion, get them open quickly in the flat, let them make a play. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we're going to see a lot of here. A lot of misdirection with that motion. The fake to the running back going left, the quarterback bootlegs to the right. Those kinds of things. See a lot of that here in these practices. And that's going to become, I think that's pretty much a staple of Matt LaFleur's offense.
Speaking of the head coach, Matt LaFleur had a great one yesterday when talking about Nate Hobbs. Said, does he need to tone down some of the physicality? And the answer to the question is yes.
Yeah.
The answer to the question is yes. Always better to tell somebody to slow down than have to speed up. but trying to take care of everybody going to be a point of emphasis. I do think there's a large portion of Packer fans, Wayne, that are excited to hear that the new corner is trying to assert himself with some physicality early that they're trying to back off of with 21.
Part of why the Packers liked him, Billy, was because of that physicality. The Packers are building a physical defense, and your defense can't be called physical unless your cornerbacks are willing to come up against the run and be physical and make hits. I see that certainly in Keyshawn Nixon will stick his nose in there. I see that to a lesser degree in Carrington Valentine, but he might be the most talented of the cover corners they have, even though he was a 7th-round draft choice. And I see that in Nate Hobbs. Your corners have to be physical, otherwise your defense isn't physical.
That edge and intensity is also something Goody mentioned they liked about Hobbs when they were, looking at free agents. Do you think there's an aspect of that? Do you think they wanted a little bit of leadership infusion in this team, Wayne?
I think so. I think exactly. And so, whereas Nate Hobbs might not be everybody's cup of tea around the league, he fits what they're trying to build here.
Yeah, and that's one of the deals that you're trying to find guys that are going to fit the attitude and also the identity of what you're trying to have your football team
and again, look at where the division they reside in, okay?
Amen.
The Detroit Lions are the most physical football team in the league, in my opinion. And that's the tone that was set by Dan Campbell 5-6 years ago when he became head coach. So you have to answer that physicality, and I think that's what the Packers are trying to do. And they're also kind of building their offense around the Kyle Shanahan San Francisco offense, which is going to feature a lot of running.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to feature a tight end, and it's going to feature perimeter threats downfield.
All right, you guys ready for a quick laugh before the top of the hour?
Let's do it.
Cordero Patterson just posted this on his social media. Breaking news. Pittsburgh Steelers released old, washed-up Cordero Patterson on his day off. Man, how the hell you get fired on your day off?
Well, let's be honest. If you get fired on your day off, it was actually your first day of vacation. Like, you weren't actually or were you employed? If it's in a day off, can you take 2 weeks of vacation, then quit?
And
that
then
was
quit.
The old Brett Favre line to the ref, so.
Cordero Patterson released an old, washed-up Cordero Patterson. Now, that verbiage, do you think that was told to him in the conversation, or was that an editor's note at the end when he typed up his tweet?
Boy, I wouldn't even go there. I don't know what to think about that. Goodness.
All right, I'm not here to complain, but really quick, I'm anti guys not unwrapping the whole jersey over the. I need to see your number, guys.
I do too.
All right, that's a
yep.
Come on.
But you got to look good to feel good.
I get it. That's a young guy thing. That's all I want to say before we get out of the top of the hour.
Now, the big
I'm
guys,
with you, Armen.
The big guys got to roll it up because you got to see the belly.
Well, that's different.
You got to see the belly if you're going to be an offensive lineman. That's the right way to go about it. 877-794-1973. Practice will continue as special teams and kickoff in front of us. Armen's dialed in. We got a parlay of the day and more Packers training camp practice with Wayne Larrabee right after this.
Get ready, Badgers football fans. This season will be here soon.
And that's picked off again by Wisconsin and hit floated to him at the 46-yard line.
August 28th, the Badgers open at home against the Red Hawks of Miami.
He's going all the way. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Listen to the Badgers all season right here. 97.3 The Game.
Grab the contest rules for 97.3 The Game at thegamemke.com.
Are you struggling with stubborn weight gain during premenopause or menopause? It's not your fault. Your changing hormones are forcing your body to store fat, no matter how little you eat or how much you exercise. But there is hope. The Milwaukee Weight Loss proprietary natural program helps restore your metabolism and reset your hormonal balance so you can finally lose the weight and keep it off for good. No counting calories, no prepackaged meals, no injections, just real results. Join thousands of women who have discovered how you can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks to feel yourself once again. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com today to schedule your free consultation or give them a call at 262-433-4008. Listen, it can be done. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two without prepackaged meals, without bars or shakes, no drugs, and no injections. This program resets your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. Schedule your free consultation today by giving them a call at 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on the game and that Billy Schmidt sent you. Results may vary.
Seed oils, the number one source of American calories, are combustion engine fuel and industrial lubricants. Seed oils cause arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, and chronic illness. It's not theory. Well-activity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com.
What's up? It's Russell Nicolay with Nicolay Law. You're listening to 97.3 The Game, the number one sports talk station in Milwaukee. For award-winning injury lawyers, when you're injured, you call Nicolay Law or visit us at nicolaylaw.com. Get the beard, get the win.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. Number one for sports and stuff.
Hey there. You hear that? Right. You don't. That's what it's like to order food for your workplace with EasyCater. No hold music while you wait to place your order. No tapping as you type in special dietary instructions or long, complicated searches for options in your budget. No crinkling of paper receipts. Just...
Dang, these are some tasty sandwiches.
EasyCater, the better way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Upgrade your learning experience during Dell Technologies Back to School event with AI PCs like the Dell 14 Plus featuring an Intel Core Ultra processor starting at $749.99. Supercharge your studies with features like real-time notes transcription, AI accelerated hardware to run multiple apps without slowing down, extended battery life, and more. That's the power of new AI PCs with Intel inside. Discover a smarter way to learn at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Make 97.3 The Game your number one preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
If the Brewers are going to pull this thing off, they're going to need to get as many of these as they can possibly get.
Perkins, center field, that'll get it done. Scored as a hit. In comes Haas, and the Brewers walk off the Marlins.
Brian Anderson on FanDuel Sports Network with the call. The final score 3-2 at American Family Field. Milwaukee salvaging one over the weekend from the suddenly hot Fish. For Blake Perkins, though, it was his first big moment after getting hurt in spring training and then finally getting off the injured list.
Try and be not over aggressive, be patient, and honestly, it reminded me so much of a couple years ago, my first walk-off, that I just thought it was like some sort of poetry in motion, coming up, the guy in front of me gets walked and bases loaded, lefty, anyways, that was pretty much it. Murph gave me some confidence, told me, drive the ball the other way, don't worry about the curveball and stuff inside, and I just tried to do that as best as I could and had some success today.
Now it's maybe the Brewers' most important series of the year, the final 3 games against the Cubs at American Family Field of the season. The 2 clubs, both Milwaukee and Chicago, are locked in a first-place draw at 62-43. Tonight's series lid lifter, Jacob Mizorowski, will pitch against Matthew Boyd. It'll get underway at 6:40. A couple of other baseball notes. Former Brewers stars CC Sabathia and Dave Parker were officially inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. They go in with Ichiro Suzuki, Dick Allen, and Billy Wagner. Among those that will be first ballot eligible next year, Ryan Braun, who was once on a Cooperstown trajectory, but his PED suspension in 2013 probably rules him out. Other possibilities include Cole Hamels and Matt Kemp, but it's also possible none of them will get in. The next year, there will be first ballot locks. Looks like 2028 when Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina figure to go in together. Moving on to football, the Packers are back at work this morning, of course, at Ray Nitschke Field, with all of the attention on first-round pick Matthew Golden during the first few days of camp. It might be easy to forget last year's leading receiver, Jaden Reed. Reed, though, isn't worried about it.
I have team goals. My team goals go way ahead of my individual goals, man. Like, as long as we win, I think everything good is going to happen for everybody else. So, I'm not really worried about, what's going to happen with me, honestly. I'm worried about, how the team going to do and things like that. So, at the end of the day, I'm big on just having good energy because I believe the ball finds good energy.
Last season, Reed caught 55 passes for 857 yards and 6 scores. While his yardage was up, he still caught fewer balls and for fewer touchdowns than he did his rookie season, for whatever that's worth. And former Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, now with the Steelers, has responded to harsh criticism from Hall of Fame Pittsburgh quarterback Terry Bradshaw, who openly has said that he wishes Rodgers would just retire, among other things related to Rodgers' personal life and habits. Rodgers didn't take the bait.
I've known Terry for a long time, being a part of Fox. Terry's a legend. He's an absolute legend. He won 4 Super Bowls. He's had a legendary career in the media. But Terry, like a lot of people, doesn't know me. And so he's got an idea of what he thinks about me based on what I've done, the documentary, what I've said, Darkness Retreat, whatever the hell you want to talk about. I'd love to get to know Terry on a deeper level. And I feel like if he gave me a chance to get to know him, then we'd have a good friendship.
Aaron Rodgers being interviewed on NFL Network by host Kyle Brandt.
All right.
That was a lot there to
That
get
was
through.
so well done by Dougie.
Great update.
So well. Actually, it was so good. I'm glad we waited for it.
Yes,
because
I agree.
it kicked off the 11 o'clock hour with a perfect spot. I'm going to get your take on the baseball part in a second because the Hall of Fame, when we like to make the joke, Wayne Larrabee's joining myself, Billy Schmidt, and Armen Sarian up here on the perch as No BS continues. Wayne, we like to use the phrase, and the young kids say it these days, 6 to midnight, when Armen gets very excited about something, right?
Yeah.
When the dauber goes down, I mean, the table hit on the wrong side when you said Yadier Molina, first ballot Hall of Famer. But the Bradshaw-Rodgers back and forth, I absolutely love. Now, Aaron, I thought, handled it about as well as you possibly could.
I agree.
Terry Bradshaw said, why doesn't he go just, quote, eat bark somewhere?
And go
chew on bark. Now, I don't know how that tastes. It might be better than we're giving it credit for. However, one is the most famous quarterback, or second most famous quarterback in this franchise's illustrious tenure. One is there for a 1-year finish and close to his career. But Aaron has loved being able to try to quell the notions as to who he was and dispel some of those rumors. You had so many interactions with him. What have you made from it and that answer from him in regards to what Terry Bradshaw has
Thought it was
criticized?
great, Aaron Rodgers, vintage Aaron Rodgers. It was great. He doesn't shy away from people disagreeing with him. He doesn't shy away from discussions.
He embraces it.
He embraces political talk or whatever, and he understands you might not hold his view or whatever, but that he doesn't shy away from those things. I think I've always felt Aaron Rodgers was refreshing, okay? He's not corporate.
Yeah.
He's refreshing, and I've always appreciated that about him. And I thought that was a great response to Terry Bradshaw, who, really probably overstepped his bounds. I mean, come on.
And Aaron was never his kind of guy, but Brett was. Terry loved Brett, and I think it always started there that Terry loved everything about Brett, that he was natural.
Because he saw so much of himself in Brett.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
We're going to throw this thing. We're going to zing this thing in there between 4 defensive players and hope there's an offensive guy in there who gets the ball.
That he's in there.
That's what we're going to do.
And Aaron, in so many ways, was different. Therefore, he didn't land. But you're right. I think he handled it well. I would say this, and far be it from me to tell Aaron what to do or how to live his life.
But you're going to. Go ahead.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, you have to get to know me. I'd like you to get to know me. You don't know me.
His big thing is we've never had lunch.
Right. But Aaron, it goes both ways.
Never had lunch.
You have to let people in too, Aaron. How many times are you shutting people out? You have to let people in too. I'm not telling him how to live his life, but that was a nice response by him. But I think also, Aaron, yes, sometimes people might see you as not being a guy that can be welcoming to let people in. So
maybe they can FaceTime each other.
You got to FaceTime him.
You got to
can't call him, Dave. Very well said. Yes, good point.
You hear a good point, too, that Terry spends a lot of time in California, too, on that Fox set, doesn't he? So Terry does hang out in California sometimes as well.
He might have chewed on some bark.
You never know, Billy.
I think Terry Bradshaw, one of my favorite performances of Terry Bradshaw was when he was on Family Feud. And his whole family was there, and one of his daughters, I think he's got 4 daughters, 3 or 4 daughters, and he was talking to Steve Harvey about all of his son-in-laws.
Sure.
Said, I got 3 and 1 in training. What do you mean about the 1 in training? He goes, well, right over there, but we don't know about him. I made him fly commercial. We all took a private plane.
That's amazing.
He didn't make it yet. He's staying at the Lodge Inn, and we're all over at the 4 Seasons. He flew commercial.
Terry's funny, and he has a great broadcasting career as much as his playing career was as well. And you can't really argue with the rings. Can't argue with all that stuff, and I wouldn't. So.
He's right. Absolute legend.
Yeah.
And it's one that we're gonna definitely miss when he hangs it up on the broadcasting side. All right, Yadier Molina.
My offense.
Give you 45 seconds to be upset about Yadier Molina being potentially a first ballot Hall of Famer. Wayne, you're gonna enjoy that.
My when I get offended is not necessarily the idea that he would be a Hall of Famer one day. It's that everyone assumes he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what bothers me. I don't think he's a guy that everyone should automatically put in as a first ballot Hall of Famer when you really look at his career. That being said, catchers have a lower threshold. I went through this with the Joe Mauer situation.
Because you were hot when Joe Mauer was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I had a little come to Jesus moment myself when I had to reevaluate that. So maybe we'll do that same with Yadier. But I don't think he should be this automatic first ballot guy. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Wayne, there's not many people that get more aggravated about a Hall of Fame than Armen with the Baseball Hall of Fame. What's your take on these different Hall of Fames? Because everyone uses it differently. Basketball, they let anybody into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Baseball one, you got a lot of gatekeepers like Armen. Well, no, we're not letting that in. That's not happening. That's not happening. And then in football, they're talking about making a different wing to try to separate the ones that are way up here and right here because there's a different conglomerate of different Hall of Famers. All of them are unique, but it's a good celebration of the past regardless.
And it's interesting because you look at some guys like who were went through the process for however many years you're eligible. Yeah. And then years later, decades later, the Veterans Committee brings some of those guys in, like Jerry Kramer's situation, that type of deal. I don't know. I think the farther out you get, the evaluation process seems to change. And so guys get in who are considered in their prime, considered for the Hall of Fame, and we're not good enough to get in then.
Yeah.
But then decades later, they're good enough to get in. And, I think in some cases, the case of Jerry Kramer, I think he was wronged early on, and they corrected that. But there are other guys who get in that maybe,
later in years, nicer.
So what's changed? Did they play any more games?
Right.
No.
Listen, I understand. I want to say this. I understand it's not heaven. It's just a museum. So maybe it's not that huge of a deal.
I don't know. Leroy Butler said it was.
But you know what? In a lot,
said it's football heaven.
For these for professional athletes, it is. So therefore, we have a responsibility. I say we. I had nothing to do with it. To take it seriously, though, and to take a serious look at every guy and make sure we're being judicious. But I don't have a vote, so. But
I do also find, and it is fascinating when you see different guys. And like Wayne said, what changed? Think about a Sterling Sharp. Like when he played, he was one of the best wide receivers in football. What kind of changed was, Wayne, it almost seemed like people's okayness or acceptance of people having shorter careers, right?
Yeah.
Like Tony Baselli was a short career guy that got in early, and that kind of
Gale Sayers was the prime
Yes.
example of
Great
that,
point.
and rightfully so. He was one of the greatest runners of all time. It's a very short career due to knee injuries. Had he had the medicine of today, he probably would have played a full career.
Yeah.
But those knee injuries, you banged up your knee in the 60s, and
over.
it was major
Yeah.
surgery. It
Yeah.
was always major surgery. My good friend Jim Grabowski, who led the Packers in rushing on their last Super Bowl team, the fullback out of Illinois, he had a knee injury. He didn't play in the Ice Bowl or Super Bowl II, and it really impacted his career. He came back, and he played in the 68, 69, was traded in 70 to the Bears, that type of thing. But that knee injury, I said to Jim many times, that would have been arthroscopic surgery. You would have been back maybe in time for the
Couple of
playoffs
weeks.
and Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Yeah, absolutely. And we
Well-
say the same with pitchers after Tommy John. As
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But here's the thing in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I mean, the people who are not in the Hall of Fame in baseball are much more impressive than most of those, not all, but most of those in the Hall.
It's more
Yes,
Pete
it's very
Rose,
true.
Barry Bonds, Roger
Good
Clemens,
point. Yeah.
100%. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, like all of the guys.
Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire. You're
Oh,
exactly
and,
right.
And I struggle with it, Wayne, too. And Armen and I, this is one of our favorite debates.
We
in
love
football,
to do it, yeah.
because for a generation like me, all the best players that I remember growing up, none of them are in there, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what does it matter? I watched Barry Bonds
I get it.
dominate the sport more than anybody else, and if you can't remember him in there, I struggle with it. But it's a phenomenal argument, and it's always one that is great when you have a cup of coffee or a pitcher of beer in front of you. Because it is one of those conversations that rarely anybody ever wins, but everyone feels better about it at the end of having
After
it.
the discussion.
Everyone loves having the debate, the discourse. It's that, and I say how many votes they got. Those are the two. Like, was he a first
Did
ballot?
he get did he win the electoral vote, or did he win the popular vote?
People love that stuff. I love that stuff because it's fun to talk about. No doubt.
Well, we're going to fire in a parlay of the day coming up in a couple of minutes, which is always fun to talk about. What's not very fun, and I got to figure out what's going on here. Did we not get the memo, Wayne, that we're up here on the perch, that they're moving offense and defensive line one-on-ones all the way to the corner of the end zone?
Yeah, the pass rush drill is about to commence, and we're as far away from it almost as we can be.
As I got the block somebody company hat on.
I think you should send a memo across the street to 1265.
I'm just going to talk to Luke Butkus after and just say, hey, man, can we figure this out next week? Can we figure this out tomorrow to be able to hear? But this is going to be a fun one, as now you get some of those individual drills. The one-on-one pass rush, one-on-one wide receiver corner is always an exciting one. But this is the first real day, it feels like, of great competition for the guys. Once the shoulder pads come on, you can start feeling a little bit of that competitiveness from the players ratchet up, because you saw more guys out here at about 10:05 loosening up, Wayne, than the first 3 days.
Oh, absolutely. And, now with the pass rush drill going on, you can see Larry McCarron walking over there.
Yes.
If Rock walks over there, something important's happening.
It's serious business.
You probably ought to
commencing,
get your
yes.
butt over there and watch it, regardless of whether you know what they're doing or not.
Well, and being able to see Sean Ryan line up and get a first win against Devontae Wyatt. We talked a lot about the offensive line and the defensive line with a couple of those rookies. Devontae Wyatt needs to have a big year. When you're talking about players who this is a make it or break it year, he'll have chances. But if you want to make that big money, especially here, this is the year to be able to do it. If you're
And when you talk about the Packers need 4 or 5 guys to evolve out of this group into blue chip players, they do.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys. You can go on Edgerrin Cooper, Tucker Kraft, maybe Zach Tom is there. I don't know.
Yes.
But, you've got guys, you've got to have blue chip players. Why? Because they win. They win in January. Your blue chip players carry you in the postseason, in the playoffs, and you have to have – those are the players also who, in the end, when teams in a close ball game in the regular season and one team outwills the other, it's not so much they're outwilling the other. The one team has more blue chip players who make the right play, make the right block, make the right run, the right hit, that kind of thing when it counts.
And field tilters, really, in some of those playoff games, guys that are really start to impact the way an entire game. We saw the Eagles have a couple of those guys last year, and that helped them win it all. And that's always been one thing I think that, you always talk about getting a second contract is a good barometer for a guy if he's being successful. Does he get a second contract? And there are a lot of guys like that, I think, on this team, the Kenny Clarks of the world, that you think of that meet that standard, but then you ask yourself, are they really top 5 at their position? So you're right. I think those blue chip players are important.
Kenny's, I believe, on his 3rd contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Again, toe injury last year, disappointing season. Expect a lot more from Kenny, and I know we'll get a lot more from him this coming season.
Yeah, he is a massive piece to the puzzle there, especially when you talk about the evolution and the continued growth of an Edrin Cooper. I mean, we get to see Quay Walker back at least through walkthrough on the team drills here today. Tyron Hopper had a nice interception. Now, it was thrown right to him yesterday, Wayne, which makes it a little bit easier, but you do have to catch it. They got a lot of options there as well. Isaiah McDuffie's going to be on the team. They re-up him in free agency, and he was in right away with the ones in base. But you said it a couple of times, and I couldn't agree with you more. Edrin Cooper cannot have a sophomore slump.
No, he can't.
Too much counted upon him.
And he's one of those guys that has to develop into a blue chipper, and I think he will. He's so talented. I said this to one of the I said this to John Kuhn, actually, yesterday. We were standing on the sideline. I said, John, you can't have a sophomore slump. And he says, no, he's too talented for that.
And too important to the team, I'd say, yeah.
Speaking of John Kuhn, he's right over there with Larry McCarron. That's when you do know some serious business is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
That is serious business going on. Armen, get through those binoculars and figure out what they're
wearing. I think he's wearing Hokas. You know, it's a very popular shoe these days.
You're looking at the shoes?
Well, that's the first thing I saw. You know, I'm trying to get everything right.
Trying to make sure we get everything right.
Yeah.
That's very important in our next piece of business here on the radio show. The parlay of the day at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Got to get it all right. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Potawatomi Sportsbook is the place to play tonight and all week long. Armen, one of my favorite things that our friend Justin Arnett always tells us about is when the Brewers play the Cubs. It's like the only time that Potawatomi Sportsbook is to cheer for the Brewers.
It's a reverse kind of deal there.
Because there's enough people that come up and bet the Cubs to win in our home sportsbook that it almost flips the liability half the time.
And I'm sure a lot of people are staying at the hotel there as well. Really great
Best
place.
hotel in the city. Why would you stay anywhere else?
Why not? You can make your wagers. You can get the shuttle, as we're going to talk about. And Billy,
you can play a little Momo Mummy right down there before you go to bed.
You
got cash machine, Dragon Link.
You got Dragon Link. You got Rich Little Piggies. You have them all right there.
Maybe a little roulette, or you're just a blackjack player,
or you just want a nice meal.
Or you just want a good meal. And Marketplace is always open, Dream Dance Steakhouse, as well as the kitchen at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Food at the Sportsbook is next level, and that is going to open up early coming up on Wednesday. Wednesday, July 30th. This Wednesday, Brewers taking on the Cubs, potentially for sole possession of first place in the NL Central.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Tim Allen and myself are going to be broadcasting live starting at 9. Sportsbook will open at 10, and on game day, on Wednesday, with a same-day sports bet or a sportsbook dining purchase, you'll get a wristband and shuttle to and from the stadium. Visit Potawatomi.com for more information. Bet above the rest and bet with us at the Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up on Wednesday when we enjoy Brewers and Cubs and get ready for Brewers and Cubs before heading over to the Sportsbook. Now remember, or the stadium from the Sportsbook.
Yeah.
Remember, Tim Allen already fired in his parlay of the day.
Is that what you're going with, Billy?
No.
Okay,
we're going 2-for-1 action.
All right, I like that.
Tim Allen's parlay of the day has already dropped from plus 1,800 to plus 1,700.
Wow.
Sharp Allen is what they're calling him right now at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That one was Brewers money line.
Yeah.
Under 8 total runs in the game and a Jackson Churio home run. He also said Jackson Churio is going to have more hits than Pete Crow Armstrong tonight.
I think that's hopeful. I mean, it's wishful thinking, but I think it's a good chance of that. I really do.
Pete Crow Armstrong without a hit, Jackson Churio over 1.5 total bases, starts up a very nice parlay of the day.
I like that, Billy.
At plus 360.
Let's go.
And as much as we'd like to just throw Brewers money line in there and make it a plus 575 parlay of the day and start the week off knowing that we're at worst case can't lose. We're already unit positive for the week.
Correct.
This is go big or go home time. And I also think Jacob Mizorowski showcases and shines when the lights are the brightest.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know how many pitches Mizorowski is going to be able to throw here today.
It's a big question.
But he understands the assignment, gets his 6 Ks, and gets the parlay of the day up to plus 700 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
As Coach McCarthy used to say, we're stacking success, right?
Stacking success. At least one of these Ks goes way and Ks up Pete Crow Armstrong. Jacob Mizorowski over 5.5 Ks. Pete Crow Armstrong, no hits tonight. And Jackson Churio over 1.5 total bases is a plus 700 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet big, bet bold, and bet above the rest. We usually don't go unders.
No, not usually, but when it's a cup, you got to, right? I like that.
And frankly, people don't like it. I generally will throw in an opponent hit before an opponent under, which doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense.
Right. That's okay.
But I like betting on success. This success from Jacob Mizorowski keying up Pete Crow Armstrong is going to make us feel so much better when the Brewers ultimately take out the Cubs in game 1 of a 3-game set at American Family Field later on here tonight. Bet big, bet bold, and bet above the rest. You better bet that you are back here on the other side. Don't gamble with this. Don't gamble with missing any bit of our coverage coming up from the Potawatomi Sportsbook, in part with the Potawatomi Sportsbook, live here from the perch at Rainitschke Field, because team is coming up next, and we'll get a full report of the first full padded team 1-on-1 11-on-11 session right in front of us at the Rainitschke Field practice field, day number 5 of training camp practice. Wayne Larrabee's here. Armen Sarian's right there. I'm Billy Schmid. We're statewide. It's no BS. You got the game.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
From playing catch with the kids to carrying your groceries, your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands do it all. But when pain limits your motion, it's time to see Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Receive personalized treatment plans to restore your strength and movement. Schedule today at orthowisconsin.com.
I'm attorney Tom Grieve from Grieve Civil Law. Life is unpredictable. No one plans to end up in the hospital unable to make their own medical decisions, yet that happens to thousands of Wisconsinites each year. Do you have a power of attorney? Without making your wishes clear now, you could force your family to make hard, brutal, impossible choices, forever agonizing and wondering if that's what you wanted. Powers of attorney are an important component of estate planning. Are your affairs in order? GrieveCivilLaw.com. Plan today. Have peace of mind tomorrow.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
What's your name? Leonard Skinnard. Live in concert. Saturday, August 9th at the Bank 5-9 main stage at the Wisconsin State Fair. With special guest Tiger Lily Gold. Celebrating 50 years of Leonard Skinnard. On sale now at wistatefair.com. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by U.S. Cellular.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love. And love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Check out Behind the Flow, a podcast documentary series following the launch of San Diego Football Club.
San Diego coming to MLS is going to be a game changer because this region has been hungry for a men's professional soccer team.
We need to embrace this community.
Listen to San Diego FC Behind the Flow on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Behind the Flow and start listening.
Coming up Monday, the Mike Heller Show, noon to 3 on the game. What a day we're going to have. First of padded practices for the Packers in Green Bay in training camp. Brewers and Cubs begin, and a trade deadline monitor all week long. The Mike Heller Show goes noon to 3 Monday on the game.
Make 97.3 The Game your #1 preset on our free iHeartRadio app. Powered by Gruber Law.
One call, that's all.
Injured?
Remember, one call, that's all.
Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard.
Work, 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 work. Diamonds all in my ring, player.
Live from Ray Nitschke Field, it's No BS. Billy and Sarian alongside the voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee, hanging out with us here as the Packers enjoy a team period just in front of us and a couple of different offensive line rotations that we enjoy. We get to see Anthony Belton at both tackles. We get to see the first look with Jordan Morgan going to left tackle, and also we get to see in the wide receiver room, Wayne Larrabee, Mecole Hardman catch a beauty along the right sideline on a rollout play action from Malik Willis. Good ball, good catch. And Mecole Hardman's a fascinating guy rocking the number 6 jersey because you almost feel like he is locked in to the team when he has only practiced here 5 days.
Yeah, and he looked good in the OTAs and especially at minicamp. He shows up, but he's a veteran. And he got the game-winning pass in the Super Bowl a few years ago. So, he will show up in these drills. I think it'll be interesting to see how the summer evolves with him. I just see him making so many plays, but I'm trying to figure out, like you guys are, well, who's he going to displace in that receiver room? You know what I mean? It's hard to tell. I don't know.
And it almost felt like, and I don't know if you got this, they don't do the same thing. They have different values on special teams, but maybe his inclusion into the grouping, into that wide receiver room, along with Matthew Golden and Savion Williams in the wide receiver room being 2 top 3-round picks, that was one of the reasons why Bo Melton found himself in a 16 jersey instead of an 80 jersey, right? They definitely want Bo on the team and just continuing to stack it up. Like, we really like what Mecole can do. We continue to go down this list. It's going to be harder and harder for you to make this side, make this team.
Exactly. And you're exactly right. But, they do value special teams here, and they have for the last 3 or 4 years. They need to see improvement of the special teams. You know what I mean? They really do. And it's an important piece to the puzzle here for this football team. A subtle piece, but nonetheless an important piece.
Well, of all the things the Packers have done well, special teams has kind of been the Achilles heel in the return game for many of those years, the last few. So, no doubt about it. That could be it.
Rich Bisaccia was open with it as well when he got brought back on the extension. And it was like, well, we talked to Matt LaFleur, like, am I doing enough? Am I doing a good enough job? Am I helping you enough? And then he's like, no, you don't understand all of the things that you do. But Wayne, for the monetary investment at that spot, and as much as that has been brought up about Bisaccia, I think you're right. The now leap from competence to, okay, you're average, now to let's be better than average in the NFL. I think that time has also come for that.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's been the effort has been there. Rich is a great coach, and the front office has made personnel decisions investing in special teams. There are guys on this roster that are here primarily for special teams. And so you have to make that commitment if you're going to be a good special teams. For years, Ted Thompson did not make which surprised me because he was he spent years in the NFL as a special teams player.
Yeah.
He wasn't much of a linebacker, but he was a very good special teams player. And yet I don't think the Packers in those years, even their Super Bowl years, their special teams weren't special that year, if you go back and look at the numbers. But this year, I think this team needs its special teams to give it a little bit of a lift. And that's something, you look at last year, the last two of the last games they lost, fake punt.
Yep, fake punt.
Return for a touchdown by Chicago. Fumble opening kickoff recovered by Philadelphia. Say what you will, that play should have been blown up because a replay should have said, hey, he got number one. He recovered the fumble, Keyshawn Nixon, but the fumble occurred.
Sure.
Call went against the Packers. Eagles took the lead, never looked back.
Oh, special teams, one of the most important questions that's been solidified is Brandon McManus. It's funny because this time last year we're talking so much about kicker, and as I watch him on the far side make field goal after field goal, we don't talk about it at all. That's great news. That's great news.
It's great. Yeah, they got that situation taken care of. Whelan is an excellent punter. And again, his net average last year was damaged by that return for a touchdown by Chicago. But, at any rate, they've got some good people on special teams. And I think this is a year where we're going to really see them step to the next level on that part of the game. And I think that will enhance the offense, enhance the defense, because as you know, Billy, special teams is field position.
Yes.
Period. It's field position.
That hidden yardage and field position only shows up, it feels like in game, in moment, right? Like it's easier to notice when, oh, wow, you pinned him at the 4. But like you said, at the end of the year, like, oh, your defense improved by a certain amount of yards given up or points per game. It all comes back to those special teams and those hidden yards. I want to ask you about another guy who, frankly, has been lining up. And again, we're 5 days in, so it doesn't matter all that much at this point. But Malik Heath has been included a lot more with the first teamers than I would have necessarily anticipated. And Matthew Golden makes a
great leaping
Golden. That was awesome. Yeah, that was great.
From Jordan Love on a corner route. But wow, that was phenomenal. And you can hear the oohs and ahs whenever 22 makes a play here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People know who he is.
Yeah,
There's
no doubt about it.
It's just having a first round receiver is just different and not something we've been used to for 2 decades. And the Packers have it now.
But Malik Heath, now he comes out here. What's your thoughts on that? Because he was another guy last year, and every team has this, where how on earth are we going to keep all of these great players? Everybody has a lot of great players right now, and then at the end of camp, Wayne, seemingly enough, you'll be able to keep most of the guys that you want to keep on practice squad. But Heath is somebody that has consistently found himself into the rotation.
Yeah, you know what? He has the prototypical size they look for in a Green Bay. Wide receiver, 6'2", 200 plus, big physical guy. And, it'll be interesting to see how he fits in with this receiving room. And they've just got a lot of competition there,
They
Billy.
really do. Yeah.
We're not even close to sorting that out yet.
Not even close. You brought up Hardman and all the options there are. And Jaden Reed is a guy they have to figure out how to get the production back that was missing that second part of the year. Right, Wayne? Whether or not it was him, the offense, whatever reason it was, the faucet seemed to turn off for some reason on targets, completions.
I think
Jaden Reed's a big play guy.
And I'm going to be kind of blunt about this, but I think the drop passes that Jaden had,
100%.
You start not going to that. If you start going away from people who have had a problem with drop passes. He had that through the mid portion of the season after a sterling start to the campaign. And that kind of got lost down the stretch. You're right, Armen. He was kind of invisible, it seemed like. And you're wondering, well, why? Maybe he didn't get the targets down the stretch because he wasn't catching the ball.
Yeah.
Now, you look at some of these other guys, and Dontavian Wicks, we just talked about him, how he overcame the drops early in the season to be a factor down the stretch and caught the ball much better.
I just think it's so important if the Packers offense does what they want that he has to be involved because of the explosives. The explosive plays are something around the league everyone is looking to try and get on offense and how to stop on defense. And he seemed to be the guy that could do that, and especially with Watson out. And that seems to be such a big focus that seems to be something the Packers were missing. So one way or another, they have to figure that out, in my opinion.
All teams are looking for more explosive plays. Savion Williams just found himself wide open in his own zip code here off to the left side. That's why he was brought in, was because of the threat of explosive plays and what else they feel like they can probably do with his size in so many jet sweep motions. And talk about Jaden Reed. He found himself into that jet sweep position so many different times last year. I think a lot of people are excited to have maybe a little bit bigger body running some of those, and somebody who has done it as much as Williams did at the college level. I mean, they gave him the ball at TCU, Wayne, any opportunity they could. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. And Matt LaFleur likes being a little bit more malleable like that. He likes getting that creativity in there.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I think they're going to find a role for that kid. The Packers drafted 2 receivers in this past April's draft because they've got receivers coming up on contract years.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
you're not going to be able to keep everybody. So that's one of the reasons why they restocked a little bit there at wide receiver.
What have you seen from Jordan to start camp? He seems very, very crisp, confident at the moment. I mean, yesterday it was so jarring when he threw the ball right at Hopper's 5'9" on his chest that he's looked really confident all camp.
I think,
smooth.
to me, he looks like he's in charge. And
Good way of putting
I
it, yeah.
think that's the thing we're seeing, that persona. He feels very comfortable out there. I had a chance to talk to him a little bit yesterday in the locker room. I think his mechanics have been tightened up, and he's throwing the football a little more accurately. He probably is not the most naturally accurate thrower in the league.
Yeah.
But then again, neither is Josh Allen.
Correct.
But
yes,
with
good one.
good mechanics, you can be a pretty solid, passer in that regard in terms of accuracy. So I think, these are things we're seeing with him. I think he's just maturing into a leader of this football team, and I think he's going to be really good this year. I think he's going to have a great year, barring injury.
The maturing into a leader, you heard Matt talk about that a couple of different times, of that position. You innately have to be a leader of the team, right? Everyone is going to look at you in that role, and whether or not that you have been super comfortable in that spot, you kind of get forced into it, right? Not always the easiest thing for guys to be super vocal who haven't been in the past, but it does seem, and listen, 3 years in, married man now, got a lot of different things settled up. Makes sense that maybe you get a little bit more confident in your role of that side.
Yeah, I think so, Billy. It's a natural progression. They saw it in his leadership at Utah State.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why they drafted him. They felt from a character standpoint, he's a kid who's not going to let the things blow up on him. In other words, no matter how much success he has, he's not going to change. He's going to be the same guy working hard each day in camp. And that's what we've seen here. So, no, I think this is a big year for Jordan Love. Why? It's his 3rd year as a starter, and we all know that you don't know about a quarterback really until you see him start for 3 years. Then you know.
Talking about the quarterbacks, we just saw Malika with a couple nice balls. I can't imagine there's a team in the league. Maybe there is, but I can't imagine there's many that are as comfortable with their backup position as the Packers are with Malik Willis.
Yeah,
right?
you're great point, Armen.
Yep.
There are some teams that are pretty well vested in that backup quarterback, especially if they have Super Bowl plans. But this team stumbled upon this quarterback for a different reason. They needed somebody.
Yeah.
And they brought Malik in here, and he just fit it like a glove. Throws such a catchable ball. That's the first thing Larry and I noticed when we first saw him in camp. He just throws a very catchable pass. He hit Golden on a play down the sideline. I believe they beat Keyshawn Nixon. Just a beautiful throw. Malik rolling out to his right, let it go, and it was just such a catchable pass. And Golden downfield. One of the things they liked about, is he a big guy? No. And does he look smaller? He does when they don't have pads on.
Yeah, no
he
doubt.
looks smaller than you thought. But the thing he did in college, if you go back and look at his analytics, he was one of the best receivers on contested deep balls.
Yeah.
So that tells you something right there. His leaping ability, his want to, his hands.
Wayne, we were talking about it last week, and I was trying to describe it to Armen, and I don't know what the buzzword is. I don't know what the cliche that Mel Kiper would have. Got the hands that run right through the football, not going to break stride, consistent catcher, but he does seemingly not break stride when the ball is in the air. That's when you're a 4.29, that's a dangerous combination.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Excited to see what he can do.
Excited to see what he can do. And they were also auditioning him a little bit as a kick returner, with that kind of speed.
Yes.
But, guys, I really feel good about Jeff Hafley as a defensive coordinator. We talked about special teams. Rich Bisaccia expects more out of his special teams. Everyone does. He's a great coach, and I think they're going to get that this year from special teams. And then on the offensive side, there are a lot of possibilities there.
There's a lot. That's the best way of putting it. A lot of possibilities. And that's fun, Armen, because that just kind of means there's a lot of opportunities.
That's great.
Right? It's like when you get all those different parlay tickets
Yes.
at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
You got to win one of them.
You're thinking, if we win all of these, I might not come to work tomorrow.
It's nice to have all those chances to hit, and you're right.
And
There's
if
a
you
lot of
don't,
tickets out
I've
there.
got the trifecta in the Whitney Saturday at Saratoga.
Let's go.
Falls.
Now we're talking,
Understand, guys, if you have a rough week, I hit the trifecta at the Belmont. I've got one for you in the Whitney. I feel very strong about it. So come to me late in the week after you've suffered some losses here.
You don't sell those picks.
You heard the parlay of the day, so we might be suffering, Wayne.
Yeah,
we're going to do that at then.
I don't know, but I could tell you this. We're going to be tuned in tonight over at the Flophouse with hamburgers and hot dogs and cold beer.
Yeah.
Got Miller Genuine Drafter. No, we have Miller High Life.
High
the
Life?
champagne and bottled beers in a can.
In a can, yes.
Jimmy
In
got
an
them in a
aluminum
can. Go figure, people. The champagne and bottled beer in a can. Does that make sense? I implore you to respond to us.
Yeah, but you know what? It tastes just as good. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no. And that's why I have to pour it in a cold glass.
Well, okay,
and then I tell myself, this is really on draft.
They just pulled it right out of the kegerator. We got to get some of those glasses in the freezer now.
Yeah,
I need to get some frosted
after
cups
Drew,
now.
Drew and KB get a bunch of glasses, put them in the freezer now.
Right, get it ready.
Start
for
working on it.
Yeah.
Start working on it because I did crack into some of those Miller Lights yesterday because they were the only tall boys. And is that bad that that's still the primary decision maker for me? Which can has more liquid in it?
I think it's the part of your character that we most admire.
Yeah, we love that part. Yes. and the confidence you have in yourself to know I'm going to drink this before it gets warm. Because that's my concern with the tall boys. I'm like, can I drink this fast enough? That's my concern. With you, we have complete confidence in you.
It's a little easier to come from a
through the
golfer
hands
to
of Matthew Golden and intercepted in the deep safety.
Right as we're singing the praises for that.
Nate Hobbs collects the interception on the deflection. Oh my goodness!
We have to keep him. We have to keep him hungry now, right? That's the main.
That's true. Broadcast.
Armen, I'm crestfallen. I'm going to be on the floor during this break.
Well, we're going to need some of those good champagne and bottled beers in a can to be able to resurrect us after that. 877-794-1973.
What was he thinking?
I can answer it. Wasn't. 877-794-1973. What?
He was thinking sale price, right?
He was. Yes. I think
the only way it works.
I really do. I think,
but it doesn't taste as good.
Well, that's debatable.
And you can't drink as many because it doesn't flow as well with that. Right, they're doing the vortex bottle thing. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. That was a thing.
That didn't work, did it?
Sorry, Armen. I'm with Billy and Wayne here.
Fine.
Thank you, Dave. Put me on the other guy that actually drinks beer is going to answer the question correctly. 877-794-1973. Kicking going on, and Brandon McManus lines up, and we line up our closing ceremonies right after this on the game.
Because my money long, the quicker you're here, the faster you go.
Packers football returns August 9th.
Can you believe it?
It's the preseason opener against the Jets at Lambeau.
Jacobs plowing the middle to the end zone. Touchdown!
And the only place to hear it is right here, Milwaukee's most listened to sports station and the home of the Green Bay Packers.
And there is your dagger.
97.3 The Game.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling, or referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Brian Butch. Some clinics talk like they work with athletes. Rehab Lab actually does. I've trained at a high level, and this team gets it. What sets them apart? They bring that same elite standard they use with professional athletes to every client. No egos, no fluff, just smart treatment plans, advanced tools, and real results. Whether you're in season or in pain from everyday life, Rehab Lab delivers elite-level care for every level, and that's a game changer. If you're dealing with a nagging injury and want to get back in the game of life, go where the pros go and visit rehablabwi.com and tell them Brian Butch sent you.
Does your home need new garage doors? At Geis, we partner with CHI Overhead Doors and offer a contemporary collection of high-quality garage doors in a variety of selections to fit your style and budget. A new garage door can improve energy efficiency, reduce noise, and improve curb appeal. Call or visit us in Brookfield to get a quote for your new CHI Overhead Door garage doors and installation.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
For beautiful CHI overhead doors for your home.
I'm the guy that never gives 5 stars because I never believe that anything is perfect. But I would give them 20 stars if I could.
Ernest's stellar review belongs to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments. They came through when he badly needed relief for his aching knees, and doctors had told him that surgery was the only option.
What they're doing is cutting edge, and it really helps. And I'm a tough sell.
QC Kinetics is led by National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field. With 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, publishing in non-surgical natural pain treatments. These are the medical pros to trust.
I'm living my life basically pain-free from what I was dealing with. So I'm a happy camper today, no doubt about it.
QC Kinetics. Call today to see if you're a candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A few showers possible this morning and then partly sunny and hot with a heat advisory kicking in. High near 92, feeling more like 98 to 100 at times. Overnight tonight, another chance for rain and thunderstorms that'll last on into Tuesday. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off. Free UPS shipping and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW initiative to end Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
Preset. Save.
We're already a preset in your car, I assume.
Preset number 1, never a doubt.
And we've brought it to the iHeartRadio app.
Simply click the button labeled Preset.
Our station gets anchored to the top of your app.
97.3 The Game. Added.
This is breaking news.
Big news.
Breaking news. From Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Not the breaking news you like hearing, and when it comes from the world of baseball, you're probably thinking, oh, great, the Chicago Cubs got Eugenio Suarez. No, but one of the number one trade candidates is off of the trade market now. This coming from Jeff Passan. Cleveland Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase has been placed on non-disciplinary paid leave as part of MLB's sports betting investigation. Sources tell ESPN Clase, the second Guardians pitcher this year to be placed on leave tied to the investigation, joining right-hander Luis Ortiz. So key parts of that. 1, Clase, second Guardians pitcher on leave tied to the investigation. So this is in conjunction, right, as Dave Gasper is back in our iHeart Megaplex studios. Dave, this is in conjunction with the Ortiz one. So to think that there's multiple players tied in the same investigation, again, I'm just going to be conspiracy Bill, put that hat on here really quick. That means that this thing could continually grow.
Yeah, it seems like this thing is just continuing to get worse and worse for the Guardians because, there was some suspicious activity with Luis Ortiz, continuing the investigation, and now finding that Class A may be a part of it as well. Who knows how many more Guardians pitchers maybe could be involved down the line. We could see more of them get put on paid leave. So this is something that we certainly have not heard the end of. And we are going to be seeing a whole lot more coming from the league, coming from this investigation, because now that there's a second player involved, it speaks to something much bigger than just one player getting caught up into it. It is two from the same team. And, what do they say about, two being a trend or
well, they usually come in threes.
Yeah.
Is what it would be. And then you would think potentially one. But the pitching side of this, Armen, you can bet on anything and everything in baseball. You can bet on individual pitches being balls or strikes, that it would be the easiest to have a manipulation in.
And that's what it seemed to be earlier, right? When they got flagged were those couple pitches and the betting activity that comes in on them. It's interesting. When these things happen, it's always the betting activity that's the first telltale sign. Now, it's interesting if they're going to have to really start unearthing some stones in that clubhouse to see who else knows anything about what's going on or could be involved.
He is on paid leave through August 31st as part of the league's gambling investigation. Ortiz already during the same parameters. Fascinating to see where this continues on and some of the details start to pick out. I say this every time this comes up. The punishment has to be swift and severe. It's the only thing that players as well as teams can benefit from the advent of sports gambling is for it to be on the up and up. And the only way you do that is by acting swiftly and aggressively. And there is benefit on both sides. I love the back and forth that I get with individuals when they say, this report brought to you by DraftKings, that Emmanuel Clase is being placed on paid leave.
Right.
However, both sides benefit from it in revenue splits. Especially in the NBA, when we talked about with Jonte Porter, Armen, that thing is split 50-50. So you're getting, say, $200 million from FanDuel. The players get 100 and the owners get 100. The only way that dries up is if you think it's professional wrestling.
That's the thing. The integrity of the sport is the most important thing for the leagues and honestly for the sports books as well, because they want to be able for people to believe in their product, or else they don't have a product to sell.
And for the players.
Yes.
Because for me, the gamblers, right?
Yes,
because for me, the if I actually then have a little bit of a fear that somebody is point shaving, Wayne, it's not nearly as fun when my man throws a strike right down the middle and it gets belted 420 feet. And I got him for the over on outs, and then he gets pulled for me to say my man's point shaving. It's not funny if I know that there's a little sliver of possibility that could be true.
No, it's a dangerous tightrope they're walking in sports today.
It's wild.
All sports.
It is fascinating, and you've seen the NFL have to deal with it, not as much into players betting on individual NFL games, but those were a lot of individuals betting on other sports around NFL facilities. It's pretty cut and dry. You can't bet on baseball. Like, that's the easiest rule for there to be, and for it to continually get violated is something that the NFL is going to have to deal with very, very soon. All right, Wayne, cannot thank you enough for hanging out with us here once again here on the Perch. Tomorrow is going to be a banger because we get the react from day one in pads, and then you get all the meetings where if one side wins, the offense is going to hear about the defensive line getting the best of them. And tomorrow, aggravations and anger and frustrations.
You think we may see some scuffles? Is that what you're saying? Are you hinting toward that?
I think it's like plus 150 at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I think there's a good chance that we see a couple. Armen, day one, how did the binoculars work out for you?
Fantastic, brother. I have to keep getting used to it, but it's been going great.
And we'll get better into day number 2. Thanks to Dave Gass for producing the program as always. We are back and hand it off to Mike Keller right after this. It's been No BS statewide on the game.
MTV, that ain't working.